Hello, hello, hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up, Colton Banks, Radstash, The Cross, Golden Dragon, Bo Schwartz, McCurdy? How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone is having a spectacular week, a wonderful Tuesday, and we're going to have some fun today. This is a new secret lair drop that we'll talk about in a minute. Today, I'm kind of in a Pioneer mood. So over the weekend was this regional championship, almost 2,000 players playing Pioneer, and I spent a big chunk of the weekend watching this tournament because I really miss being able to watch these big standard tournaments. You got Cedric and Patrick doing commentary. It was so nostalgic. It felt like, I don't know, like a weekend from 2010 or something, back when there used to be SCD Tour all the time. But all that to say, there were some super sweet decks. So today, we're doing some pioneering / exploring. I have 4 different decks that really caught my eye. We're going to start with the deck that I think I'm most interested in trying. So this is Kaito Bane of Nightmares Ninjas for Pioneer. So we're going to start off with Kaito Ninjas and see if Pioneer Ninjas can actually work. How good is this new Kaito? Because Kaito, in Standard, there's just not enough ninjas, but in Pioneer, we can play a full-on ninja deck and really take advantage of the emblem. So we're going to start with some Kaito Ninjas, but we also got some backup decks if it comes down to it. Also for Pioneer, we have a Sultai Land combo. This deck's so cool. I almost thought about doing a video of this deck. I don't know if you've ever seen this deck before. This deck, it's so sneaky powerful. It actually is like an infinite combo with Lumra and Port of Carfell of all things, where you can just keep looping the Lumra again and again and again to have your lands entering the battlefield infinitely, and you burn them out with Festering Gulch. It's so hilarious. Pain of Fuzz, welcome to the Fishbowl. A Sarac combo, also maybe some... This deck, Super Fair Coco. I don't know how this deck... Every time I look at it, I'm like, how could this deck win? We're in a world where my current theory of Magic, Painful Fuzz, welcome to the Fishbowl, and Mr. Shankly, welcome you as well. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. My current philosophy on Magic is your decks need to have free wins in them, right? If you're building a deck, you want your deck to be able to win fairly, but you also want some, nut draw potential, where if you get the right draw, you just accidentally win the game. And this Coco deck is the furthest from that I've ever seen. This is just honest to goodness 2015. I'm gonna play my Llanowar Elves and then cast a 3-drop, and then I'm gonna Coco into an Enduring Innocence and maybe draw a card. I don't know how this deck ever wins, but yes, those are the decks today. We're gonna start with ninjas though, and then we'll go from there and play what people want to play. Sarac, I would love to see you play the deck. Feels real janky in Arena since they rope on your turn, even if you're doing things. Yeah, that is kind of a clunky one for digital. How do you do your bun? Actually, is it a bun? I'm terrible with hair terms. I don't know. Bun probably counts. I actually don't know how to answer that question. I just kind of do it. There's no trick. I just kind of put my head down and put the hair up. Hey, Seth, I love your YouTube vids. First time checking out the stream. Can't wait for the fun. Hey, welcome, Painful Fluss. Welcome. Good to have you. Thank you for the kind words. So the big news before we get to the games, there's a new secret lair drop, and the secret lair drop looks super cool. It's a new pixel art style secret lair drop showing kind of original NES Mario Flibblethip fighting a Bowser that is actually Nicole Bolas. So it looks really sweet. More importantly, there's actually some value in this one. There's been a lot of criticism of secret lair drops for just not really having much value, but this one, Fierce Guardianship, is like a $40 card, Ultra Commander stable, Lightning Bolt, always Lightning Bolt, Mana Geyser, really good, very strong in red decks, and Delayed Blast Fireball, they're all actually pretty, yeah, maybe Zelda. I don't know, this one, the Mana Geyser makes me think Mario, just the way it's laid out, but I could see Zelda as well. But, yeah, this one's going on sale in a week, gonna be on sale for a month, and because it's a charity drop, losing my voice, hang on, because it's a charity drop, I believe this one is print to demand, so I think you should be able to get one of these if you want one, and they're probably worth picking up. You get to actually donate to Extra Life, so you're doing some good, and you get a Fierce Guardianship. Seems like a pretty sweet lair drop. Most people aren't expecting fair decks like Coco because they're playing against and expecting all unfair. That might actually be the reason the deck works, is the meta is so skewed for people doing something broken that maybe you just play an honest game of Magic and get some wins. I'm curious how far Explorer is from Pioneer right now. How many decks from the top 1632 can be made on Arena without missing any cards? So I will say These 4 decks, I just copy and pasted from the tournament. The only card that was missing out of these 4 decks is Super Fair Coco, Gideon Ally Zendikar. They had 2 Gideon Ally Zendikars in the sideboard. Otherwise, all the decks were fine. The other card I run into, Urborg in the mana bases. It wasn't any of these decks, but those are 2 cards you run into like semi-often. It's like 95% there, 98%. It's like super close. As far as tier decks, like if you just want to play tournament decks, it is very, very similar to Pioneer. There's not much missing. If you want to play some janky, like, whatever, draft chest against odds deck, then all bets are off. The cards may or may not exist. But for actual tournament decks, it's pretty close to being full Pioneer. Hey Seth, hang around because I'm going to class. Hey, awesome, Rooker, how are you? But I have a funny idea for you to consider. Salvage Summoning, Leyland of Anticipation, Ave and Thrasta. You can play mass bounce effects and then steal storm off your opponent. That actually sounds super sweet. With 12,000 cards available, pretty sure Pioneer is far from truly salved. Wouldn't surprise me to see some hidden top tier decks. I think that's definitely true. I think we even saw that with like some of the tournaments. Let's do our reminders real quick. But what was the deck we were talking about in the podcast? Oh, the winning deck. The winning deck. And you probably know this deck because we actually played it for a video a few months ago. But the deck that won the tournament, and this makes me so incredibly happy, but the deck that won the tournament, this 2,000 player tournament, was Rakdos Tree of Perdition combo. Tree of Perdition combo. If you had told me, I'm trying to find the deck list. We don't have them on the site yet. If you had told me 5 years ago, the Tree of Perdition would be winning tournaments, I would have laughed in your face. There is no way I would have believed it. But I think that shows kind of what you were talking about, where this is a combo that has existed for a while. The pieces for the combo in this deck, They've existed. We've had Agatha Soul Cauldron for more than a year now. Tree of Perdition's existed forever. It just took people a while to actually put it together. So I would definitely agree that the format is not solved yet. And there's still stuff, and that's one of the downsides of not having all the cards on Arena, is there will be things where someone finds this new synergy, new combo, discovers something we haven't thought of before, and we're missing pieces for it. So that is a drawback, but really, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Plus, we're getting Pioneer Masters at some point. Bizana, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Tree of Redemption is the green one. Except, the classic. What Masters set was that? Masters, Iconic Masters? Masters 25? There was some Masters set where there was a Mythic and it was so bad. I've been playing this Simic Crab deck. I had it say its name in alternate. They work really well. The deck is crazy fun. That actually sounds like a sweet addition. Yeah, I could see trying some alternate saying names. It does fit well. Naz Smith for the 93rd month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Did I finally get around to listening to some Hankin? I did. I liked it. It was a little metalier than I normally listen to. I don't listen to too much like super heavy stuff, but I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it for being pretty heavy. But yeah, good call there. I really wish Original Innistrad was in Pioneer. I think Snapcaster Lingering Souls would be sweet. Yeah, I kind of wish that too, honestly. Cards like that would be such a good fit for current Pioneer. Anyway, reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, tomorrow we have a super sweet Against Odds. We are doing some ridiculous stuff. So make sure to check out the Against Odds tomorrow. Tons of other stuff coming up on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, maybe from Duskmourn, maybe from, I don't know, Bloomborough still, maybe some Secret Lair stuff, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, whatever. You get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up. Would Snapcaster be too good in Standard? Maybe it'll show up in Foundations. No, I mean, it would be good in Standard, but I don't think it would be too good in Standard. Would it? Would Snapcaster be too good? Snapcaster is not good enough for Modern. Not legal in Pioneer or Standard. I think it could be worth giving a shot. Maybe not in Foundations, because then it's legal forever, but I think it could be worth giving Snapcaster a shot. Hey, what's up, Lando ATL? How are you? Good to see you. Also, if you're in the South, stay safe with these hurricanes. My goodness. Oh, that's one nice thing about living in upstate New York. You don't have to worry about hurricanes. Gotta worry about snow. Well, you used to have to worry about snow. Now we don't even get snow anymore, so. But yes, if you're down in the Florida area and down around there, definitely stay safe. So what are we playing today? We're starting off with ninjas, some Demir ninjas. Innistrad was my first full block as a player. I wish Pioneer included it so bad. I mean, Innistrad is one of the most beloved sets, I would say, in all of Magic. Sorry about the Bill. Hey, I've been a Bills fan for a long time, so I expect nothing less than heartbreakingly bad performances. So I'm used to it. But yes, the Bills. Oh my God, I don't even know. The funny thing is, I was so Krim. I don't know how this is possible, but Krim is a Denver fan, and last week I was teasing him so hard because I don't know if you saw it, but they somehow the Denver ended up winning the game, but in the first half, their rookie quarterback, had negative passing yards, which I didn't even know that was possible to actually end up a whole half of football with negative passing yards. So I was teasing Krim about how he had like the ultimate against the odds video of like, my quarterback threw for -7 yards and we still won the game. What a banger YouTube video that would be. And then this week, Allen goes out and is like 9 for 30 and just like the worst game ever played. Really enjoyed seeing you play some more Pioneer and Explore. Other formats outside of Standard. I'm missing you play Modern as well. We'll be doing some streams or Modern videos in the future. There's still so much MH3 to play with, and a lot of new cards in Standard seem great in Modern. I hope so, Badger. I hope so. I've really been struggling to just motivate myself to play Modern. I think it's a mental thing, like some sort of block. But yes, like there will be more Modern. I've just been struggling with the format lately. I got to come to grips with it. I got to somehow come to grips with Modern just is what it is, and I need to be able to enjoy it for what it is and not think about what it could be or what it used to be. So yes, all that to say, I think more Modern will definitely be coming at some point. I don't know if it'll ever go back. There was a time when Modern was like the format we played the most. I don't know if we'll get back to there in the near future, but yes, more Modern will be in the works. Do you consider Modern a stagnant format? Sort of. Modern changes a lot when Horizon set releases. So there is huge, almost rotation style shakeups to the format, where Modern right now is incredibly different than Modern 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever, right before Modern Horizons 3 released. So I don't know if stagnant's the right word. The thing I struggle with, and maybe you can help me with this actually, the thing I struggle with the most is I feel like there's this subset of cards that you have to play to really have a deck that's sort of functional, which is mostly stuff from Modern Horizons 2, Modern Horizons 3. Like someone said, you can take like, what was the exact quote? You can take like 65 Modern Horizons cards and then play any 10 cards you want, and then you have a decent deck. And I feel like that's how you gotta build a deck, is like, you gotta play the One Ring and the Energy package, or the Evoke Elemental package, or whatever the busted thing, Orcish Bowmasters, or Psychic Frog. You gotta play these busted cards from the Horizon set, and then you can add your spice on top of that. You can add your cool cards. I've always had this thing, especially with like Against the Odds, where I always wanted to try to avoid like this Against the Odds episode being a known deck or a tier deck that has a spicy card thrown into it, because I really wanted to like build a deck around the spicy card. But the more I try to do that in Modern, I just get stomped. Like if you don't play the Ragavads and you don't play the Bowmasters and you don't play the One Rings, you just can't keep up without those cards. So it feels awkward to me to be like, I'm gonna do the card I was doing this with recently was Screaming Nemesis. I wanted to do a Modern Screaming Nemesis deck, because Screaming Nemesis seems really good against the energy decks and the life gain, plus there's these funny combo kills. So I want to do a Modern like Screaming Nemesis deck, but then it always ends up being like, well, it's kind of like a domain deck, but it's got some Screaming Nemesis in it or whatever. And like, is that spicy enough? Do people want to see that? Is this just a me thing? So that's where I end up getting stuck, is like, how do I play the jank? Do you think Fatal Push would be too strong in Foundations? I think Foundations needs to be careful. Foundation needs to be careful because of the no rotation thing. So I don't think that Fatal Push is too strong for Standard, but I don't know if I would put it in Foundations just because it's going to exist forever. Like, I think you need the stuff in Foundations to be a step below the best version of the effect, just so you can still print exciting cards in future sets too, right? You don't want the best version of a removal spell to be in Foundations and Legal and Standard forever. You want like the second or third best version of a removal spell, and then you can put Fatal Push in some standalone set and have it go in Standard for a year or two, and then it goes away, or 3 years now, and then it goes away. So I think that's what they need to do. Do you think that Wizards should be aggressive with the BNR in Modern? Might help add diversity and keep the format from being stagnant. Wondering as to go, no questions. I'm bummed it hasn't been banned yet. I would be more aggressive, although I like bannings, and one thing I've learned from all this Commander stuff is not everyone does. Let's talk about this deck, and we can talk about this as we go along. So what are we doing? We're playing ninjas. Why are we playing ninjas? The big answer, Kaito Bane of Nightmares. So our new Duskmourn Kaito, we can ninjutsu into play for 3 mana, and the big deal is it can draw cards. It can tap something out with stun counters. The big deal is +1, make an emblem that our ninjas get +1/+1. So this is uninteractable. It's a +1, so we can do this every turn. So we can turn our very small ninjas into really big threats just by pumping Kaito, pumping Kaito, pumping Kaito. And unlike Standard, where in Standard, there's just not really ninjas. There's a couple like a Satura or whatever, but the ninjutsu stuff rotated, Kamigawa rotated. Back in Pioneer though, we get a lot of ninjas. So we have a Moon Circuit Hacker for card draw, Silver for Master is another Lord. We have Nashi because, I don't know, Duskmourn flavor I guess. Satoru from our card draw, Biting Bomb Ninja gives us a Thoughtseize, Thousand Face Shadow, can copy our stuff, can pick up our stuff, Mockingbird can be any of our ninjas we want. So that's the plan of the deck. We get some good disruption, some Fatal Pushes, some Thoughtseizes, some Spell Pierces, and now we just Kaito, ninjutsu, pump the ninjas, hopefully use it to win the game. So that is the plan. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm assuming the alchemy versions will correct themselves once we join an Explorer game. Hopefully it works that way. I think it should. Is ninjutsu a special action? Special action. I don't think it's a special action. What is a special action? Is there rules meaning of special action? So ninjutsu is a activated ability. You can do it anytime you're attacking and unblocked. It should be activated, right? It can't be triggered because you have to activate it. Yeah, triggered just happens. Activated you have to do. So I think it's an activated ability. I'm not sure if special action like an actual Magic Rules thing. Lucid for the 54th month. Oh, unmorphing. Yes. Yeah. No, it's not like that. It actually goes on the stack and whatnot. It does use the stack. You'll put a trigger on the stack for ninjutsu. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Do you expect Foundations Limited to be any good, considering the style and purpose of the set? Maybe. I mean, I don't think it'll be. I hope it's not the focus of the set. Let's go with that. I hope it's not the focus of the set. Yeah, we can try this. No Kaito, but we have the. Well, can we try this? Yeah, we can try this. We can try it. We can try it. Yeah, I think. Oh, spirits. Okay. Spirits are like ninjas, but they get flying, which is probably bad for us. Let's just. Do we just Fatal Push? We don't really want to. We don't want to ninjutsu this until we have Satoru down. So we Fatal Push this turn. Next turn, Satoru. Yeah. All right. I think we got to Fatal Push it. I think we just got to Fatal Push it. Right now, we're playing some ninjas. Has anyone ever told you you look like Chad from Cold Ones? I haven't heard that one before. I don't know who Chad from Cold Ones is, actually. Ooh, Nashi. Yeah, let's play a Thousand Face Shadow. In theory, all right, opponent Rattle Chains. In theory, next turn, what we want to be doing is Satoru, and then we can, we need a colored source. We want a Satoru plus Moon Circuit Hacker, draw a bunch of cards. I don't know if you've talked about this yet, but what are your thoughts on other content creators' opinions about the shakeups in Commander, like Prof or Command Zone? Do you agree or Ooh, wait, that's a staggering insight. Do you agree or disagree with them? Ooh, how'd it go? How'd it go, Max? Did you have any luck with it? This is my first game with the deck. This is my first game with the Pioneer Ninjas deck. So I really don't know how good or not good it is. Huh. So we can ninjutsu, but we can't Satoru. This Mutavault actually looking very awkward right now. Technically a ninja, but not the ninja we want. And this is going to be drawing extra cards. Huh. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we just play Satoru and get him for 1. The staggering insight is definitely a problem. Doug, welcome. Wow, guys, like snare. Oh boy, this one might be over. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super duper. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, this is like the mono blue Curious Obsession deck. Oh, opponent, staggering insight, rattle chains. It's us. So I don't know, Badger, what all of what those people's takes were. I remember I watched Prof's video and I watched the Game Nights podcast. So they were like pretty long, and there's a lot of different opinions, I would say, throughout those videos. So I guess overall, like, I think I agreed with most of it. There's some stuff I didn't necessarily agree with, but the general feeling of, if the general feeling was, yeah, this is so bad. If the general feeling was they did the right thing, but they could have done it in a better way, then I mostly agree with that, pretty much. I always say the guitar when you do podcasts. Do you play music? Oh boy. All right. Game 2. We're not beating double staggering insight. I do, not as much as I used to, sadly. There's ornithopters in here. Don't worry. There are ornithopters for days. We just didn't draw them. I honestly don't even know if I like ornithopter in this deck. I feel like it's kind of questionable. How do we deal? Oh boy. So we bring in nowhere to run, but how do we deal with just a bunch of spirits? They're kind of doing the same thing we're doing, except they get flying, which is a pretty big advantage. So probably go down the Thought Seizes? Maybe something like that? Or do we need the Thought Seizes to be... Is Nashi... When Nashi deals combat damage, mill that many cards. You can put any number of legendary and or enchantment cards. Wait, why is Nashi in this deck? So legendary, we have Kaito. Enchantments, we have none. Wait, why is Kaito... Why is Kaito in here? Nashi... Why is Nashi in here? Is this even good? And then it needs to sit out to get the counters. Nashi actually seems really bad in this deck to me. Nashi seems very questionable. We just don't have the things that Nashi cares about. Hey Seth, longtime YouTube viewer, YouTube, only glad to finally catch the stream. Really like your Brawl content. Any more of that coming up? Yes, there will be more Brawl coming up. Not in like the next week, I don't think, but in the near future. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead because we're gonna be on in Vegas for the MagicCon stuff. So sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'll try to get up some Spellqueller, Phantasmal Image. I'll try to get up some brawling. What are we taking here? Supreme Phantom dies. Rail Chains is annoying. Spellqueller is also annoying. I guess we just take Rattle Chains. Yeah, let's take Rattle Chains. I feel like everything having Flash is pretty bad. Hey Seth, I've noticed a lot more standard and Pioneer content from you and a lot less timeless content. Is that because of MH2 cards or is it because of a different reason? Just coincidence. I still like timeless a lot. I've been struggling with modern, so not having much modern content is just me trying to figure out how I want to interact with the format. So that's been, I don't know if I want to say intentional, but more intentional. Man, so close to being able to ninjutsu. This is 3 mana. They can block that. Well, I think we have to play this on black. Fatal Push, Supreme Phantom. And then I think we just go beatdowns. Fire up the Mutavault. I don't think we're going to Mockingbird a Moon Circuit Hacker, so get a hit ya. Down to 16. Do a little looting. Sure. And discard a Mockingbird? Yeah, let's discard Mockingbird. I keep having people ask when I'm going to have gameplay content, but I just don't have the time. It is time consuming. I know that from experience. Definitely time consuming, although they can just spell Queller. Do we still attack? Do we still just attack? Are they going to flash in the Spell Queller? No, they won't do that. No, I don't think. Probably. Ooh, all right. So, surprise? Surprise? Biting Palm Ninja? Pick up the Moon Circuit Hacker? Do a little Thought Season? Okay, wait, that doesn't work like that at all. No. Wait, how tricky can we get here? So, Biting Palm Ninja hits ya. Thought Seize ya. Yes, remove the counter. Opponent. Catilda in a counter. So we'll take the Catilda. And the question is, do we ninjutsu the Moon Circuit Hacker back into play? Probably not. Well, this is going much better. Thousand Face Shadow past the turn. Kaito in hand. I thought this card was going to be so good in Standard. I thought the Biting Palm was going to be like a legit staple. It did not work. It did not catch on in Standard. Phone died. Sorry if this is out of context now. For anyone wondering, special actions are taken that they never use this deck. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not a special action, unfortunately. It would be a lot stronger if it was. Well, let's get in with the Biting Palm Ninja. Turns out ninjutsu is pretty good against counter spells. Well, let's... Wow, do we just keep thought? This is so cute. Ninjas are... I love ninjutsu. Ninjutsu is just such a cool mechanic. So we are going to... Moon Circuit Hacker, pick up the Biting Palm Ninja. Oh, just kidding. We're going to Biting Palm Ninja, pick up the Moon Circuit Hacker. It's back, but with the counter. Ninjutsu's just so sweet to play with. Another Geist Light Snare. Get rid of that. Play the Dark Slick Shores. Oh, found it. Can you stop our ninjas? Yvonne MTG, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. Opponent. Wow, again? All right, we're just going to do this until our opponent stops it. And apparently they're not going to stop it, so we're just going to keep doing it. Moon Circuit Hacker, just kidding. Biting Palm Ninja returns. I don't know if we're even making any progress, but just Thought Seize you every turn and hit you for 3 seems kind of brutal here. Yes, we would like to remove the Menace counter. Yes, we'll take the Geist Light Snare. Here we go. Were you going to be in Vegas, Atari? Definitely say hello. See if we can get in a game. What do you think of bands like Squid and Black Midi? I am not familiar with either of those bands. What genre are Squid and Black Midi? I wish we could play music on the stream. I might have to figure that out. I wonder if we can start playing music on the stream. It used to be we couldn't play music on the stream because YouTube's copyright system was so bad for the replays, but they've improved the copyright system where now at least you don't get copyright strikes. You just don't get any ad revenue off of it, but it's way better than it used to be. It would be fun if we could listen to music on stream. All right, opponent finally going to deal with the Biting Palm Ninja. Bad news for our opponent is we have Kaitos for days. Kaito, let the embleming begin. Emblem, pump the ninjas. Go. What? How many emblems can we get? Oh, I mean, I would probably like both of those bands, and I'll have to look them up. I like experimental, and I like post-punk, so I assume that I would like them. Yeah, YouTube, they have gotten better with that. That's what I use when there's music and videos, is stuff that doesn't have any copyright on it. There are I don't think there's a way to take the music out of the VOD after the fact. I mean, maybe there is that I'm not aware of, but there's definitely ways to set up your recording so we can hear the music on stream, but it won't show up in the video. But it would be fun because I would love to, when someone's like, "Hey, do you know this band?" Just be able to pull it up or just share music that I like. I know it's well known. How do you feel about Modest Mouse? I like Modest Mouse, especially their first couple, Moon and Antarctica, Loathsome Crowded West. Both of those albums are really good. And then they had their Poppy Blow Up album. I haven't listened to much Modest Mouse post Good News. I think that was their radio hit. What an unlikely radio hit. back during the early 2000s, we went through that era where indie bands could suddenly get famous, where indie was like pop. But yeah, I used to play a ton of music. Like before I started doing magic stuff, that was kind of what I did, like playing bands and like do shows, and it was super fun. But now that I've started doing more magic stuff, I just haven't had the time to really do that stuff. Plus, the people I used to play with, everyone's kind of scattered around, and so it's different. So yeah, I still play, but I'm definitely way rustier than I used to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it again because I think that things have changed enough that we might be able to have music back on the stream now. Hey Seth, I made a Boros Discovery deck. I don't know if it works though. I have nowhere near enough wild cards. Ooh, what's your list look like, Shadow? So all right, Go Kaito. I learned to play on keyboard, piano. That's how I learned music. But then I switched over to playing. I still played keyboard, but I switched over to playing more guitar too. Bass. I'm not like a bassist, but if you can play guitar, you can kind of like play the basics of a bass. I actually think playing bass is super fun. I like playing bass, but I'm not a bassist by any means. So primarily guitar and keyboard or piano. Hey Seth, I went to a Hakan concert a few weeks ago, and it was a seated concert, sitting in folding chairs listening to the wildest concert I ever went to. I had that experience a few years ago. I went to it was actually a Modest Mouse concert. I went to a Modest Mouse concert, and it was like a seated thing, and it's so weird. As someone who like, I was like, I used to love just like rowdy music, anything with a mosh pit, punk shows. I love the energy of it. So it's so awkward to go from that to like sitting for a concert. But it was still a good show. Hey, CMX, thanks for hanging out. Any videos of you performing? I might be able to. Pull one up. Let me. Yeah, there's. Oh boy, these are old. They are old, but there are a couple bands. I can pull one up for you. I can pull one up, but I'm pretty sure we didn't copy. I'm pretty sure there's no copyright on any of this stuff. All right. Well, remind me after this game, and I will put it on. Oh, it's gonna be so embarrassing, probably. Meat Puppets 2. Meat Puppets 2 is my favorite Meat Puppets. Meat Puppets so underrated. Oh, we can't really attack here, can we? Silly flyers getting in the way of our ninjutsuing. Well, let's, I guess, play a. Actually, let's just play the Menace Ninja. Let's play Biting Palm. That might be able to get an attack next turn, pass the turn. We really want to get this Kaito down. If we can get the Kaito snowballing, we might be good. Oh, chat. I have a very important question for you. What is Crim's band name? Does anyone remember what Crim's band name is? Because I will look that up so fast. There is a video of Crim playing on Conan. See, I never was in a band that got to that level. We were never playing Conan or anything. More like local regional stuff. Hey, Seth. for your bunch of Magic YouTube content, have you ever thought of doing upgraded forms of those decks to see how far you can push them? Yes. So I've never figured out how to do it content-wise. Let's Watery Grave. Go to combat. Attack. Then we can Moon Circuit Hacker. Actually, yeah, Moon Circuit Hacker. Pick up the Ornithopter. Hit ya. Draw a card. Kaito. Ninjutsu. Pick up the Hacker. And now we can remove the counter. Thought sees you. Lofty Denial. Spell Queller. Well, I mean, we'll just take the Spell Queller. What do we do with this Kaito? So we can play the Ornithopter again. I think we're just gonna stun the Supreme Phantom, the card draw, and then we can block. We will Ornithopter block the Spectral Sailor to keep Kaito alive. Aye! All right, Kaito down. Kaito down.
Please welcome finish.
Okay. Oh my God, we found it. We found the Crim too. Okay. After this, we'll look at this after this match. After this match, I promise. Oh, it's gonna be so sweet. Well, let's get him with the Biting Palm, and then Moon Circuit Hacker. Pick up the Biting Palm. Draw a card. Yes, please. Fatal Push is not bad. Ornithopter. Now we kind of just want our opponent to spend the counter. There it is. There it is. So opponent spends the counter. Now we can Fatal Push. Actually, do we? Let's Silver Fur Master. And Fatal Push Supreme Phantom. Yeah, I think it's worth killing. Even though it's tapped down one more turn, just getting rid of it. They can draw with the Spectral Sailor, but if they're spending 4 mana to draw a card, I think we're okay with that. Why isn't Shieldred played in the new Yawgmoth deck? 4 mana is just kind of a lot. Like, Shieldred's a very strong card, but I think that I think it's just too much mana to see a staple level play. Well, let's Moon Circuit Hacker. Pick up the Silver Fur Master. Hit ya. Draw. Discard the Thoughtseize. Well, play Silver Fur Master. And do a little Mockingbird-ing. And I guess we just copy a Spectral Sailor. Pass turn. I think we're good. Hey, Seth. Currently running, current Doppelgang list I'm running, converted the former Teamer list to a Simic one. Has felt pretty solid so far. Ooh, let me see, Tuka. Oh, they found more card draw. All right, sure. You can draw a card this turn. Things are about to get bad for our opponent, though. They drew a land. Yeah. Land on cavern. All right, go to combat. Attack you. This is where it gets bad. This is where it gets real bad for our opponent. Are they dead? I think they're dead. Opponent's gonna block. Okay, that's fine. Thousand Face Shadow. Coming down. Pick up the Moon Circuit Hacker. Copy the Silver Fur Master. And hit you for 10? Ninjas felt good. Ninjas felt really good. Ninjas felt actually super good that game. Is there a reason Goldfish Tournament results... Oh, no. I didn't know they weren't working. No, it's ranking up. As far as I know, they should be working. I'll have to let Richard know. The Doppelgang deck does... Oh, it looks so much fun. Doppelgang is just it's such a fun card to play with. Yeah, that looks super, super, super sweet. Oh, Virtue of Strength even. Virtue of Strength doppelgang. Nothing better in Standard, I don't think. All right, music type. So people want to know, okay, here's an example. This is old, but let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, there, you saw me there for a minute. Yeah, look at that. Look at that fine specimen. Look at that fine specimen. I think I was wearing a pirate shirt. All right, here we go. Here we go. Ooh, yup. Wow. So long. So this is actually where the olive comes from. This is actually where the olive comes from. The gimmick was everyone's last name was Olive, like some weird 60s thing. So that's where the olive part of Saffron Olive comes from. Yep. Yep, right there. Look at that. Look at that. Hair in the face. Shirt a little bit too tight. We're doing it. I know we got to do a goldfish band. See, I'm small fries though when it comes to goldfish bands, because if you've never seen this before, look at this. There was a band. Did you know there was a band named Finish Line that made a late night TV debut on Conan? Why would we be watching this? Why would we be watching Finish Line? Let's see. Where where is he? Oh, look at that guitar player back there. Wait, hang on. Where's the bassist? Okay, yes, you're a great singer. Oh, wait, he's right behind the Crim's in the worst spot. He's right behind the other guitar player. Yeah, right there. Look at Crim rocking out. Look at him rocking out. We need a better shot of Crim. This cameraman. Oh, yeah. Get it, Crim. Get it. Yeah, bang that head. Oh. Yeah, so we might have to start a goldfish band. Yep, Crimothy on the finish ticket. We should actually do that. We should start a goldfish band. Cool Nostalgic, how many years ago? Oh, the video of my band was, man, that was, I think, 2008. So, 15-ish years ago. Did he make Conan, or did he tape it without interacting with him? I actually don't know. The story. You'd have to ask Crim. I don't know the details of him playing on Conan. Hey, what's up, dog? How are you? But I'm sure stop by Crim's stream sometime, or maybe I'll ask him on the podcast. The Discover deck, eh? Ooh. You know what card I'm loving? And there's gonna be a video coming off of it, but you know what card I've been loving is Ghost Vacuum. I think Ghost Vacuum, when I see these cards like Trumpeting Carnosaur, I'm like, man, I just want to discard it and then exile it to Ghost Vacuum and then get the 1/1 version for free. It works really well with Discover, since it's gonna make 1/1 versions of stuff, but if you're getting Carnosaurs or Geological Appraisers, what do you care if they're 1/1s? Like, it's still doing the Discover thing. Yeah, that looks fun. I think Discover is a cool mechanic for sure. It's played better than I expected. Tomer on the tambourine. Oh yeah, maybe we can get Phil to be the lead singer. I don't know what Richard would do. What would you call the Goldfish Band? Oh, what's a good name for the Goldfish Band? Band names are so tough. Yeah, Tomer on the Abacus. The thing about Ghost Vacuum is it can actually win you the game. Like, yes, it is a hate card, but it also we could play at the fishbowl. That'd be our home arena, the fish tank, the bowl. Actually, let's start with Aussies. I think this is probably an enigmatic incarnate. Oh. Nowhere to run, go for the throw, and a high noon. Well, that's a lot of ways to kill our stuff. Not thrilled. How greedy do you think our opponent is? How greedy? They might be greedy. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take this. I don't know if we care about high noon. We're gonna take the nowhere to run. We might be able to get him. The question's gonna. Well, we need to draw land first. The question's gonna be: does our opponent kill our stuff at sorcery speed? Well, we drew the land. Does our opponent kill our stuff at sorcery speed to play around ninjutsu, or do we get to blow them out during combat? We are a Demir deck, so they might kill it just to play around counters. Come on. Oh, let it go. It's fine. We don't even have any legends in the deck. We don't have. It's horrible, opponent. We don't have any legends or enchantments. Don't worry about Nashi. Don't worry about Nashi. Ooh, the Panharmonicons. I kind of like that. I could get behind the Panharmonicons. About it. Gloom Lake Verge and go for the throat. All right. Sure. Oh, well played, opponent. Well played. Well, Thousand Face Shadow, I guess. Go. When this deck doesn't get rolling, it's really, really not rolling. About it. Like, ninjas can snowball so well, but when you don't get the snowball going, it feels a lot worse. About it. Up the Beanstalk draws a card. I mean, our opponent's going to win the late game. That much is for certain. We draw a Mutavault. We'll play the land. Go to combat. Get in with a Thousand Face Shadow. What do you have for... You got a Fatal Push? Wow. Okay, opponent. Fatal Push. Well, opponent definitely came prepared with the removal. That's for sure. Well, let's just emblem him up past the turn.
I just hate a fair fight.
I bet Phil could be a good metal singer. I could see that. Oh, here's the question I had for you. We're having a debate about this. It's getting to be Halloween season. Here's the question. Candy corn. How do you feel about candy corn? How do you feel about candy corn? Where would you rank it? You're doing a candy tier list. What ranking do you give candy corn? I think we got to surveil and draw. Very good in small amounts. Candy corn rules. Really? Oh. See, candy corn, I would put candy corn as like F tier. Candy corn, I hate it. I hate candy corn. Hate it. Not terrible, but I don't prefer it. Awful. See, I'm in the awful camp. D tier. Okay, D tier is fair. D or F. I can get behind D or F. It's very divisive. Like, some people love it. It's like their favorite candy. Oh, I am the opposite. I am not a fan. Well, all right. Opponent, Elish Norns us. Now, let's stun the Elish Norn.
I've got them pinned. Press the attack.
Get in with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Hit ya. Wait, can we tempo them out? Is there a chance we can tempo them out? Opponent goes to 4. Pathway on blue past the Turk. Come on, we need one more attack and the Kaito gets there against an Enigmatic Incarnation opponent. Take it, Gouton. 3 cards in hand. Beanstalk on the battlefield. Elish Norn, but it's tapped down. A little stunned, thanks to Kaito about it. Can't play the Yaryan. Definitely worried about a lane line binding. That would be bad. Mr. Peaches, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Decoration, yes. Decoration is fine. I can get behind Candy Corn. It looks cool, right? It fits the festivities of Halloween. It's got the colors. It kind of looks pumpkin-y and fallish. Whatever. That's fine. Decorations, it's fine. Eating it, though. Opponent, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. I mean, they basically have to have lane line binding, though, right? And even that doesn't work? Kaito. I mean, wait, is Kaito busted? Tap down the Overlord. Land untapped. Fire up the Mutavault. Get a little emblem-y. Fire up the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Here they come, Kaito and friends. Opponent stuff is busted, but it's a little bit tapped down. And Kaito gonna tempo their way to the win. Wow, that was actually really good. What's your favorite Halloween candy? I mean, S tier candy. I mean, M&Ms are just good. M&Ms, especially with peanuts in them. Peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms very good. What other candies? All right, let me see here. Oh, someone already made a candy tier list. What other candies? So like M&Ms are really good. Oh, gummy bears, like the Hibinaro, whatever the European gummy bears. Those are actually very, very good too. But I think Reese's peanut butter cups, they would be S tier. Reese's peanut butter cups, easy S tier. M&Ms, I don't know where they are on here. M&Ms, easy S tier. Gummy bears S tier. Candy corn, oh, the worst. Candy corn's the worst. Not even a little close. Skittles are good. I like Skittles. Skittles, they might be S tier. What about candy necklaces? Speaking of candy that might look better than it tastes, do you actually eat candy necklaces? Are they actually even for eating? I'm not sure that they are. So opponent's playing Incarnation. Disdainful Stroke, probably worth it. I mean, Trim and Nashi. Fatal Push probably does not have a ton of targets. Maybe something like this. Lower B tier. Did we do a candy tier list? Maybe we did. Maybe we did a candy tier list. What is this? Are these like Cadbury eggs? I know people love Cadbury eggs. I do not understand the appeal of Cadbury eggs. Or are those like malt balls or something? Oh my god, malt balls. Oh, the worst. Jawbreakers? Have you tried candy corn mixed with peanuts? No, but I would say, since it's diluting the amount of candy corn in there, that it's got to be a strict upgrade. Like, that just means there's less candy corn. So anything you're replacing some of the candy corn with is going to make it better overall. I used to eat candy cigarettes. Yeah, I actually... So we have, like, upstate New York is funny. So there's a bunch of, like, Native American land and reservations around here. And I don't understand all the details of it. But basically... because of how the reservations are set up and the laws work and treaties and stuff, basically, on the reservations, they set up stores, but there's no taxes or anything. So you can have all kinds of stuff that you can't get normally. So I was over at one of the stores on one of the reservations the other day, and I actually saw the candy cigarettes, and it blew my mind. I forgot that they were even a thing, but it's so funny that they actually that was a product. Like, why would you have a product that is literally teaching small children how to smoke? How do we ever think that was a product that should exist? How much the world has changed in the last like 30 or 40 years. That like 30 or 40 years ago, they were actually selling candy cigarettes to kids. Yeah, or like Big League Chew. Isn't Big League Chew like supposed to be chewing tobacco? So yeah, it's funny. It's just wild how much things have changed. Attitudes have changed over the past 40 years or so. I used to have a box of them. I mean, that gum is still pretty good. You can still find them? Interesting. I don't know. I never see them at just like the convenience stores anymore. Opponent's gonna grab the Arion. Leyline binding the biting palm. Yeah, last game went really well. This game is going the opposite and a half. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Is there any reasonable way that we can win this game? Yarion Bailmerk. This is gonna blink. Well, let's, I guess, do a little looting. I don't know what else we're doing. Discard a Watery Grave. Pass the turn. I mean, old movies are kind of like that too. I was looking for a clip of the original Ghostbusters movie to use for like an intro to a video because it fit the theme. So I was looking through clips of the original Ghostbusters movie, and I was just like, they're all just kind of walking around smoking. They're all just kind of walking around, vacuuming their ghosts, smoking. Overlord of the Bailmerk. Cannot kill that. Yeah, I think we might be to the scoop point of this game. Wait. On second thought, maybe not dead yet all the way. Although this Yarion's just going to blink it anyway. So we can play the Kaito. We can stun the Overlord of the Bailmerk, kind of. Watery Grave untapped. Ouch. 1,000 face shot. But our opponent's at 20. We got to get off to a faster start than this, I think, if we're going to keep up with Enigmatic Incarnation. Any idea when the next viewer-submitted Commander Clash is? It's actually up right now, Motherfrog. We're doing a viewer-submitted game in, like, next week. So go to... I can link the article, but go to the last week's Commander Clash article. We're having issues with YouTube auto-moderating out the links. But if you go to this Commander Clash article... Yeah, this is bad news. If you go to this Commander Clash article, you can leave your deck list links in there. About it. Trying to decide what Kaito to take. Yeah, takes a Kaito. Mills some cards. Gets a Skyclave. Yeah, there's no card in our deck that overcomes that. Our opponent's stuff just so... We got to get off to a fast start. To really have a chance, I think. I don't know if we can change anything. Do we want the Bailmerk? Bailmerk's, I guess, kind of grindy. The Fatal Pushes, do they even do anything? Let's just go down the Fatal Pushes. Go up Overlord of the Bailmerk. And I think we go up the Ornithopter. We got to be fast. If there's going to be any chance of beating this deck, we got to be fast. Oh, how did the RC go, Kebig? That was making me feel like I need to go play a tournament. Maybe with the new GPs coming up, I might actually just put together a deck and go play one of those. Go qualify for a Pro Tour real quick. Might as well. Back in the day, you were able to walk into a store with $1, come out with bread and milk and cereal. Now there's cameras everywhere. Oh no! The funniest one I remember is when I was like a kid. I'm pretty sure that like gas stations basically sold like amphetamines. That's another one I can't believe is legal. There'd be like these, I forget what they called them. Some sort of like upper, I can't even remember the name, trucker something, like some sort of weird name. I was like, speaking of things that used to be very legal, and you're like, how in the world was that ever just like, it's part of the culture? how, yeah, pep pills, yellow, yeah, it's like, what, that was like an actual thing in my lifetime, not even like, 100 years ago or something, but like 20 years ago or whatever. Oh, what a world. Well, let's Hive the Eye Tyrant. Thoughtseize is good. We can Thoughtseize into Satoru, into Kaido. Oh. Up the Beanstalk's a problem. Leyline Bindings. Oh, we gotta take the Up the Beanstalk, I think. I feel like this decision makes the entire game. So I need a green source to be able to play the Overlord. Up the Beanstalk just finds everything. Leyline Binding's gonna hit. Yeah, we gotta take Up the Beanstalk. All right, here we go. Watery Grave, untapped, and Satoru. Come on, no land. All right, that's good. That land does not let them Leyline Binding. If we can ninjutsu this Kaido. I don't even know if we want to ninjutsu this Kaido. Whenever one or more non-token creatures enter, if no mana was spent to cast them. So if we ninjutsu off of this, we don't get to draw, right? Well, okay. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. Well, let's... I guess play... Play Mockingbird. as a bird. Play the pathway, play the moon circuit hacker. See if our opponent draws a land. If they draw land, if they draw a green source and get to, oh, they don't, and we get Kaito. All right, go to combat. Attack you. Ninjutsu. Pick up this Mockingbird. Hit ya. Here comes Kaito. Here comes Kaito. Down to 15. Draw a card. So many Kaitos. Discard. Actually, Kaito flooded. Discard a Kaito, and we're just going to emblem. We're going to emblem. Grow the ninjas. Grow them ninjas. Play the tap land past the turn. Opponent untaps. Do you find the land? Opponent scoops it up. Kaito still undefeated. I spent $40 on an instruction manual for a GameCube game just to make it complete in box. What am I doing with my life? So Mega Magikarp, are those actually collectible now? What is the meta for retro video games? What is the meta? Like, do you want it so completed? I assume. Do they have to be graded? Is that the new thing? Like, is grading common with retro video games? Have you been seeing stuff about Lunchly? Lunchly? Is that like some meal distribution company? Oh, Lunchly. No, it's the influencer one. This is the Mr. Beast. The Mr. Beast Logan Paul. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I did hear about this. I don't know. What is the issue? Like, is this bad for some reason? I can never sort it out. It seems like there's always something sketchy about Logan Paul stuff. Mr. Beast has been getting trashed lately, so I never really know, like, is it actually a scam? I know I've watched some CoffeeZilla videos, and if you believe CoffeeZilla, he makes it sound like a lot of Logan Paul stuff is kind of scammy. Yeah, that's the whole I don't understand the whole influencer culture thing. It's so weird to me. The whole thing is weird to me. I don't understand it. It blows my mind. Like, why would Mr. Beast sell Lunchables to kids? Like, first, that's just weird. And then why would the fact that Mr. Beast is selling it make you want to buy it? That's also weird to me. Like, yeah, the whole cycle of it is just very, very, very strange. Oh, I feel like, what do you think the, like, history books are going to look back on this time? You ever wonder about that? Like, what our era that we're living through now is going to look like 500 years, 100 years, 1,000 years in the future? Like, what are people going to be saying about us? I can't imagine it's great. I can't imagine it's great. It's so crazy Mr. Beast was doing arena advertising. Speaking of scams, I'm pretty sure that was kind of a scam. Like, I'm pretty sure scam in the sense that I don't know if Mr. Beast actually had much to do with it. I'm pretty sure they just paid Mr. Beast to, like, post a tweet and then put his name on it, and then they handed out a bunch of money. It'd be sweet if they're actually, like, playing against Mr. Beast. That's what I want to see. Can you beat Mr. Beast to win $1 million? Hopefully it won't look back on when they look back on it, it's embarrassing. Yeah, that would be best, right? They just skip over this era altogether. They're promoting it to be healthier than Lunchables. I mean, I've heard, so it's hard to sort through all the Mr. Beast stuff because there's been so much. Ooh, Rafine. Man, I've been so happy this card rotated from standard. Good old Rafine. Have not seen you in a minute. I've heard that about Mr. Beast's candy bar thing too, which it's hard to tell because there's just so, it seems like the YouTube meta is just like bashing Mr. Beast, or I think it's gotten calmed down a little bit lately, but like a few weeks ago, it seems like every other video on YouTube was just someone bashing Mr. Beast for something. But apparently one of the things I learned from that was apparently his chocolate bars were kind of like marketed as being healthier, but actually they're not healthier apparently, or I don't know. I think the takeaway is don't believe what influencers say. It's probably not worth believing. Well, get in. Hit ya. I think we just have to Kaito here. We have to ninjutsu the Kaito. Ninjutsu the Kaito. Smack ya. Down to 17. Kaito.
Make victory that much sweeter.
Kaito what, though, is the question. Kaito what? So we can tap down the Malcolm, but then Rafine can probably kill Kaito. Drawing seems bad. We can emblem, then they have to attack. You know what? I think we got to tap down the Malcolm. Yeah, this was not the greatest Kaito in history.
Control the fight. Control the outcome.
Seth, you're an influencer, though. If you tell us not to believe influencers, I'm just a magic player. I don't know. Like, I don't like the entire concept of influencer. Like, I guess technically, I am. I guess technically. But even, like, I cringe to hear someone say that just because the whole system seems silly to me, and I don't like it. I don't like the thought that I could be considered an influencer, even though I think that's, I guess that's technically true, but, it actually, like, makes me cringe to think of that. I just want to play Magic. I don't want to tell you what to buy for lunch. I don't know. Actually, no. Maybe that's a good. Maybe I'm gonna have to pitch that to. Richards. Maybe we need some MTG Goldfish Lunchables in the merch store. Maybe that's the issue. We haven't been selling enough Lunchables. We can put a little scoops on there. Put a little scoops. Sell you all some scoops Lunchables. Yeah, that's a lot of Shieldrids. Oh, Goldfish. Yeah, that's one of the funniest parts about working for Goldfish is we do occasionally. I remember Richard sharing me an email he got. We occasionally get very angry emails from people who are complaining about Goldfish crackers. We got one. Oh, it was so good. We got one. The person was very, very upset that their Goldfish crackers were like missing their arms or legs or something, which is something I don't even think exists on a Goldfish cracker. I don't think they're supposed to have arms or legs or anything. But it was a very serious, like, angry email from some mother who her father who bought Goldfish crackers was not pleased with the outcome of their Goldfish cracker purposes, and then somehow managed to email Richard, of all people, at MTG Goldfish, or support at mtggoldfish.com, thinking they were going to solve their Goldfish cracker problem. Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah, that they were wrong in a whole bunch of ways. There's a whole I don't even know how you get that far down the rabbit hole. Like, you got to not understand how Goldfish crackers work, and then how do you end up on MTG Goldfish? Like, how, out of all the Googling you can do, how do you end up with MTG Goldfish being the support email? I don't even know if he responded. I'd have to ask him. That was a while ago. I don't actually remember if he even responded to it. Yeah, this deck seems good. They have a lot of creatures. I guess we can bring in Nowhere to Run. But Nowhere to Run does not kill Rafine. Well, all right, let's try it like that. Also possible. Just Googled Goldfish Rage and you're the... Maybe if... I guess I didn't do much checking. Maybe we just show up a lot if you type Goldfish in. I guess that's possible. I wonder if that is somebody who had emailed Goldfish before, had cracker issues, and made an autocomplete error when filling out the 2-line. I guess that would actually make the most sense. I hadn't thought about that, but that would actually add up, right? That they had emailed us about something in the past and then it auto filled. Why would someone search for Goldfish Rage? Now I want to know what that looks like. Is there a YouTube video? I want to see an IRL. I want to see a real goldfish raging. Wow. Oh my god. There's content for everything. Angry goldfish tips. What your BBFS isn't telling. Oh my god, this has got to be the greatest content of all time.
So I went to my BBFS, and for those of you who don't know, that's big box fish store. Because my friend wanted a goldfish. So
they have terminology. BBFS, the big box fish store. Okay, so they actually have terminology for this.
We walked in and immediately walked out. Not 30 minutes later, because the first thing they did went, how many goldfish do you want? You want a handful of goldfish? Here's 10 goldfish. I was like, all right, 10 goldfish seems like a lot, but they're cheap. They're goldfish. Then they put them in a 10-gallon tank. Just so we know, a 10-gallon tank is this big, and goldfish, on average, can grow up to 10 inches long. That's at least what it said on the sticker. Sometimes they grow up to a foot long. You just sold me 10 goldfish at 10 feet. You sold me 10 feet of goldfish and 2 feet of tank. That's not gonna...
Oh my god, the problems of goldfish. You sold me 10 feet of goldfish, but only 2 feet of tank.
And in that...
You sold me 10 feet of goldfish, but only 2 feet of tank.
Tank was a heater. I came in there the other day.
Wait, it's still going.
It's all there on the label, and in that...
It's all on the
10
label.
10 feet of goldfish,
10
2 feet of tank.
2 feet of tank.
That's not gonna work.
No, of course that's never gonna work. Who would think that would work?
I came in there the other day to
what
buy
kind
betas,
of person?
No heater.
No
you
heater.
Sold me a cold water fish with a heater? You sold me 10 feet of cold water fish.
10 feet of cold water fish with a heater.
Doesn't make any sense.
But John. Don't fish only grow to the size of their container? You put 10 small goldfish in that tank, they're only going to get to be like, what, a half inch long?
Is this a serious educational video?
Okay. No, Tommy. They don't appear to be growing, but on the inside, they are growing.
This might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. Man, I didn't know that goldfish YouTube was a thing. I'm going to go so far down this rabbit hole. Oh my god. I'm going to go so far down this rabbit hole. What else do you think is going on in IRL goldfish YouTube? I don't know. Does that make any sense that your fish would only grow to the size of their cage? I don't know if that makes sense or not. I don't know if I buy that. That doesn't I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you put like a dog in a smaller cage, it's just going to grow up to the it's not going to grow less because you put it in a cage. I don't think that's how animals work. I mean, I didn't know that real goldfish YouTube was a thing. We got to see what the end of this.
Their organs are expanding. The organs are getting bigger as the fish develop. They're
Yeah.
getting compacted.
Yeah.
They get compacted to the point where you have systemic organ failure. Do
Oh,
you want
no.
systemic organ failure?
No,
You know
no,
what systemic
of course
organ
not.
failure leads to 10
I don't.
dead goldfish.
10
That
dead gold,
leads
10
to
feet of
10 feet
10
of dead
feet of dead
goldfish in a
goldfish,
2-foot
yeah.
tank. That's what you get.
But John, my
10
uncle...
feet of dead goldfish in a 2-foot tank. This is not what I expected at all. This is not at all what I was expecting. I think we actually brutal Cathar here. Off of our Mockingbird. Let's Mockingbird the brutal Cathar to get rid of the brutal Cathar. And then pass the turn. Hopefully next turn we can ninjutsu off the Ornithopter. 10 feet of dead goldfish. Yeah, that... I'd listen to that. That sounds like a good album. I really hope they add the rest of Pioneer to Arena. We're missing key sets like Battle for Zed or Return to Ravnica for Niftile and other cards. So we know that short term, and I hope this is very short term, but we know that Pioneer Masters is coming. It sounds like that is the short-term plan for getting Pioneer on YouTube. And Wizards, so I don't want to complain too much because I would rather have Pioneer Masters than no additional support for Pioneer, but it doesn't sound like their plan is to add the full sets in the near future. So I would not be expecting... Ooh, that's not great. I would not be expecting the full, like, Battle for Zendikar set or the full Return to Ravnica set. Wizard sounds pretty upfront that their goal isn't to... Wow, that would have been really good in the past. Awkward. Well, a Satoru, I guess? Ouch. Yeah, we're getting kind of crushed by just a bunch of Esper creatures. But I think, so can't they add Niv to Light? Can't they add Niv to Light without adding the full set? Like, can't they just put Bring to Light itself into the master set? My bigger concern is Wizards' plan for Pioneer is they want to have, I think they call it Tournament Complete Pioneer, right? What happens if Mockingbird returns after the Cathar exile? It'll just be a 1/1 flyer, unfortunately. Wizards' plan is to add Tournament Pioneer. That's their goal that they talk about, is they want, and they've even said this like on Reddit recently, if you want to get a card onto Arena for Pioneer, you know how you do that? Go top 8 a tournament with it, and we will add it. Because our goal is to have every tournament playable card added onto Arena for Pioneer. So we know that that's the goal. Oh, Sheoldred. Well, we might have met our match. We're 2-0 with this deck so far, but I feel like this combination of just playing a big creature every turn is pretty tough for us to handle. Opponent gonna lose with Arona. Tree of Perdition is, I believe, on Arena. Did you guys put decks for user submitted deck weeks? Not yet. I think we're not recording that one until next week. So as long as you get the decks in like this week, it should be in time for people to see. All right. Well, we will untap and draw. It's a tap land. We get drained by Sheoldred. Yeah. Yeah, we can't win from here. We can't win from here. The Tree combo's on Arena. We actually we did a video of it before. I mean, Bring to Light will be added. They will add Bring to Light. What's actually missing is an interesting question. If we go through these top tier decks, it's actually super easy to check. All you have to do, you can do it right on the Goldfish site, is you just change the format to Explorer, and it'll show you any of the cards that don't exist. It's pretty easy. Seth, have you seen this yet?
So it says here.
I don't think so. So if you go to any of these decks and you just do edit copy and then change it to Explorer. So like this Rakdos deck, completely legal. Nothing missing. Azorius control. And this is true of most decks are like super close. Azorius control, fully on Arena. Is it Phoenix? If we go to Explorer. Missing Temporal Trespass, which is occasionally a one of. So Temporal Trespass, card number 1 that's missing. But really it's, as far as tournament decks, there's not a ton that's actually missing. My concern is more, I like playing the janky decks, and I think it's going to be a long time until all the jank is on there. Urborg's one that comes up a lot. A lot of black decks play one Urborg, just kind of because why not? I'm surprised they haven't added that to Arena yet. Maybe it's hard to program or something. But as you can see, like a huge, even when decks are missing something, it's usually like a card, and a lot of times it's a card that doesn't really matter. Like, changing an Urborg out of a mana base, most of the time, doesn't really matter. I think this is going to be the first deck that just gets wrecked. Like, Hidden Strings, yeah. I mean, there's no Hidden Strings. There's no Dark Petition. There's no Behold to Beyond. There's no Silence. There's no Voyaging Satyr. So I would say this is the first deck. Hidden Strings is a deck that exists in Pioneer that just does not exist on Arena and Explorer. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do about the jank. Like, I wish they would just go back and add everything. Like, even if it takes 5 years, like, do the Pioneer Masters for the short term, but over the next 5 years or 10 years, just work back through the rest of the Pioneer sets And then work back through the rest of the modern sets and just eventually have everything. The man Josh Harris, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank you. Sixers are probably going to be good this year, I think. Oh, I have a question for you. You need to help me with this, chat. You might know better than I do. What would you say are CC's and Bear's colors in Power and Toughness? And do they have any ETBs? So, CC's definitely got to be red, at least base red. Red. Maybe is it? CC might be is it. I would say probably is it for CC. She's like, I mean, she snuck in through the door, which is pretty cunning. Also, like, kind of impulsive to, like, sneak in. Flash, yeah, maybe like an is it Flash creature? Skulk and First Strike. Yeah, I think that's probably CZ. Bear, what color combination would Bear be? Bear's white, probably white. He's just like the most loyal. White green. He might be like Selesnya. I could see Bear being Selesnya. He like super loyal, but also he likes outdoors, big and earthy. 2-mana 2/2 would fit magic wise, but Bear's so big. That's actually the question I had for you, chat. So I need to know my colors in Power and Toughness. Ooh, Stone Rain. Oh, what would Stone Rain's power? Yeah, that's actually tough. What would Stone Rain's power and toughness be in colors? Bear's ETB rolling around in dead animals when he enters. Thankfully, he doesn't really do that. He doesn't roll around. Some of the other dogs do, but he's not super big in rolling around in the dead animals, which I appreciate. Here's the question I have for you, chat. Have you ever stayed in an Airbnb? That's question one. If so, have you ever tried to take a pet to an Airbnb? You know how big Bear is. What are my odds of being able to get an Airbnb that I can stay at with Bear? Is there any chance? So so I need to go out to Kentucky in December to watch some of my little brother's basketball games. So I'm going to go out there for like a week to watch his games. I'm going to like try to get an Airbnb so I can work while I'm there. While I'm not watching basketball, still be able to record everything. I'm trying to figure out how I can bring Bear with me on the trip. Because I don't think I can do it at a hotel. I don't know if a hotel would go for that. I think probably not. I mean, worst case, I guess I can leave him somewhere. But I was trying to figure out if there was a way I could bring Bear with me. Well, get in. Head ya. Down to 15. Kaito. We're just going to start embleming. We came here to grow our ninjas. Emblem 1 achieved. Yeah, I think it would drive out. It's like 9 hours, which is a lot, but then I'd have a car there for a week without having to rent one. Yeah, the challenge is just Bear's so big, right? Like, if I had a little pocket dog that I could carry around, I'm pretty sure that there's lots of hotels that I'd be able to take him to and be perfectly fine. He's just such a big boy. Such a big boy that it's, well, we'll keep the Moon Circuit Hacker. That I'm a little worried a lot of hotels will not go for it just because of his size, essentially. No chance for the team to offer a place to stay with friends and relatives. So I'd stay with my brother out there. I just feel like it'd be easier to have my own place as far as like recording and working. But I could stay at his house, but I feel like it would be hard to actually get stuff recorded because people will be coming and going and living life and whatnot. So I feel like I kind of need, my dog was 60 pounds and no issue. Bear's like, 175-ish. He's like a person. Send him and Cece up to Seattle and I'll pamper them for a week. Ooh, I might take you up on that someday, Cat Cam. If I'm ever out there, maybe you'll do some pet sitting. Going to see the UK, yeah. That's what I'm going out for. There's a week where they play Duke on Sunday, and then they play some no-name team in the middle of the week, and then they play Kentucky the next Saturday. So I'm gonna try to just go out for a week, I think, and and watch the Duke game, the random game, and then the Kentucky game. I'm actually kind of hyped for it just because it sounds intense. They like hate each other. I don't think I've ever been to a basketball game where people actively hate each other. Like they had some random alumni game. And they were like spitting on each other and stuff. They were like, they're hardcore. They're like hardcore. So I was kind of surprised how seriously apparently they take their basketball out there. Well, let's play the Mockingbird. Copy the Thousand Face Shadow. I think this sets us up for lethal next turn. So we have lethal on board. We have a Spell Pierce if they have a Wrath. Unless it's Supreme Verdict, which they could have because of, that land. Come on, draw. Draw with that Bank Buster. Draw with that Bank Buster and die. Ooh, a Quake check is there's quite a few pet-friendly places. Yeah, okay, so maybe it'll work. I just wonder, I noticed there were pet-friendly places. I was just nervous if that included Bear. I don't know if people think of Bear as different just because he's so big. If people are thinking, oh, here's some little 20-pound dog, when Bear's just, like, so large. All right, Spell Pierce it. And so far we're 2-1 with ninjas. 2-1. So it's working pretty well, Max, I would say. Surprisingly well. So it's got to be a control deck. We'll probably try another deck after this one. A reminder, if you need any of these cards, you can get them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggold. See, I guess I am an influencer. I'm influencing you to buy Magic cards from Card Kingdom. I guess the influencer tag is actually true. Duress could be worth it too. I think the other Kaito's definitely good. It's not sold on this Nashi. Also this Satoru. This deck feels like so close. It feels close, right? It feels like it's... I mean, it's working. It's working. I feel like we need one more set of ninjas. And then this set will be... And then this deck, I think, could be really good. I feel like we need one more Return to Kamigawa. One more Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. If we just get one more set of ninjas, then I think ninjas might be ready to really pop off. As it is, I think they're still reasonable. But, like, you got to play a few cards. Like, Satoru hasn't felt that solid. Nashi hasn't felt that solid. There's a couple of slots where you could definitely see an upgrade being potential. What do you think of this? Ooh, let me see, Thingham. Green, red, Delirium. Ooh. I've played against Delirium a few times, and it can get some really scary draws. I will say right now, I think I was wrong about Flytrap. I think Flytrap's better than I gave it credit for. I thought that Flytrap was, like, really, really bad. Because if you don't have Delirium, it's a 3-mana 2/4, which is, like, laughably bad in 2024. The thing is, if you do have Delirium, and if you can get Mega Delirium with 6 card types, the card is actually kind of wild. So I think in a deck that's dedicated to it, I think Flytrap is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. That list looks sweet. Fear Missing Out's good. Altanix sweet. Yeah, looks like a solid Delirium deck. Have you got to play with it much? I'm curious how successful it's been so far. Well, that's Thousand Face Shadow. Opponent Enigma Jewel. Opponent's doing some spice. What is Overlord in the sideboard for? Just to kind of grind. To grind against the removal heavy decks, control decks is just a way you can get your... Actually, do we just attack? Yeah, let's attack. Get in with a Thousand Face Shadow. Do a little ninjutsu-ing here. I'll pick up the Thousand Face Shadow. Do a little hacking. Hit you down to 17. Yes, we'll draw a card. Ooh. Alright, well, Thoughtseize you. I'm kind of hoping to draw a land there, but Thoughtseize should be good. Could you run Metallic Mimic in this deck? Yeah? We'll have to look. We'll look after this game. Well, we might switch decks after this game anyway. Try one of the other decks. But we'll look and see what other ninjas exist that we could possibly play in this deck. It might just be that Satoru and Nashi are just, like, the best options. Wow, they didn't even counter it. I mean, I guess their hand just kind of sucks. Well, sure, we'll take the Omen Hawker. Take the Omen Hawker. You can counter us all you want. Hopefully we can just ninjutsu. If we can just hit a land. If we can just hit a land. So what's the Vegas roll call? How many people from chat are actually going to be in Vegas? Ooh, land is good. Land is very good. Land is very, very good. You know what you can't no more lies? That would be a ninjutsu ability. For example, a Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, pick up this Moon Circuit Hacker. You can stifle. Our opponent could Tishana's Tidebinder it. Alright, here comes the Kaito. Hit ya down to 14, and yeah, let's draw. Let's surveil and draw to make sure we hit our land drop here. No emblem yet. Mockingbird, Graveyard, keep the land. If you live in Vegas, that makes it super easy. I was close to going this year, unfortunately hoping for the next. Well, if you're there, definitely find me. I'd love to meet as many of you who are around. Went to Gen Con to meet Krim. That was cool. How is Gen Con? I've never done Gen Con. Someday maybe I'll have to Gen Con. Oh, man, I ain't going fishing. Yeah, I don't know if Metallic Mimic would be, especially with the theme being kind of ninjutsuing our stuff back to hand. Wow. Itwara the Kaito. Sure. Well, opponent. Oh, they have multiple counters. Let's play the land. Play Satoru. About it. Gonna try to counter it. We will Spell Pierce. And then we will Thousand Face Shadow. And go. Yeah, I feel like Kaito's been impressive. The games that we have drawn Kaito have been our best games with this deck. So I think Kaito might actually be really good. Ooh, have you been playing CDH, Lucid? Have you gotten into CDH? Well, let's go to combat. Get in with the dorks. And wow, wait, is this just a combo? So we can Moon Circuit Hacker. Oh, that is ninjutsu of 4. Okay, Moon Circuit Hacker. Pick up Thousand Face Shadow. Draw a card. With the Satoru. Kaito. Pick up the Moon Circuit Hacker. Draw a card. With Satoru. There's so many cool tricks with ninjutsu. There's just so many cool loops. I think ninjutsu, if I was ever going to do like a top 10 mechanics video, I'm pretty sure ninjutsu would be pretty high on my list of all-time favorite mechanics. Like, very high. Ninjutsu's so good. Well, Ornithopter. And oh, we could just draw a card because we spent no mana on it. It's a combo. And then Thought Sees You. You can counter it if you want, opponent. You can counter it if you want. All right, no more lies. Sure. Well, your go. Hey, Seth, a long while back, you said there was going to be a game where you, Krim, and Tomer would play your playtest cards from Gabba's event, but it still hasn't happened. Any updates? So, Galaxy, we're kind of waiting in hopes that one more person gets a playtest card. Kind of waiting in hopes that maybe Phil gets one or something. Can we win here? Maybe? Non-land? Haha, okay, that's a non-land. Take it up. So that's 5 power. And then Ninjutsu, the Hacker, and Exaxes. Opponent had a spicy deck. I'm still not sure what their deck's trying to do, but get in, hit ya, and the emblem paying off for the win. Yeah, the synergies are so good. So yeah, Galaxy, it's still something we'd like to do, but kind of hoping like maybe Phil gets one or something, and then we can do a full 4-player pod. How do y'all feel about silver border cards when it comes to like Commander Clash? Phil does not currently have one. Just me and Krim and Tomer have one. So our one player short. One player short of the full pod. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always skeptical. The few times we've done silver border stuff, people have been pretty meh on it. So it's kept us from doing more of it. What format is this thinking? Oh, it's thinking it's historic. All right, let's see what other ninjas. Maybe Nashi and Satoru are just the actual best options. So we need 1 or 2 drops. More expensive than that is just not going to work. Yeah, there's even in Pioneer, there's not that many ninjas, are there? Could play Satoru Umezawa. But that's 3 mana. We really want 1s and 2s. If we just limit this to 1s and 2s, it might just be, I guess, Cryptomancer. Yeah, probably not that good. Actually, maybe Cryptomancer would be sweet. That would even be good protection. I could see an argument for this. Should we consider Cybia Cryptomancer? Because we can flash it into play, and then in theory, pick it up with ninjutsu and then flash it back into play to protect something else. So there is like kind of cool synergies there. Yeah, we can check changelings too. The rest of these don't seem great. Like at least Nashi and Satoru have menace that increases our odds of being able to ninjutsu off of it. I could see an argument for playing some number of Cybia Cryptomancers though. And then changeling. Wow. 3 tree mascot. Oh, I wonder if we expanded out the colors, if it would matter. Yeah, the changelings, the only cheap ones, 3 tree mascot. Aren't there some green ninjas? I don't know if that changes anything. I know there were some green ninjas, but ooh. I didn't even realize Fang of Shigeki was a ninja. It does have Death Touch. Although one of the weird things about Pioneer, that probably the biggest thing I would say that sets it apart, I think we actually try Cryptomancer over Nashi. I think Satoru at least, I like the synergies of Satoru. Nashi I just don't think has enough chance of drawing cards. I don't think we have enough legends in the deck for it to really be consistent. And I don't know if just a 2/2 menace is really, really enough. You want to see the Fair Coco deck? Well, it's time to switch decks anyway, so we can try some Super Fair Coco, because it blows my mind that this deck even exists. I don't understand how this deck works. I mean, I can understand, like, you got a lot of cool value-y stuff, right? You got, like, just tons of bodies, and, like, I guess, efficient bodies for their mana value, but it's so fair. It's so fair. All right, well, we'll do some Cocoing. Let's do some Cocoing and see how this goes. So Super Fair Coco, we already talked about this one a little bit. I mean, it's good, clean magic. We're just playing some mana dorks so we can play our Enduring Innocences and our Archon of Amirias, and then we draw some cards with Enduring Innocence and maybe put 2 things into play. That's our combo, right? That's our combo is, for 4 mana, we don't just get to put 1 creature into play. We get to put 2 creatures into play. Look out, Transmogrify. Then something more broken's coming to town. But yeah, that's basically the deck. The biggest upside of the deck, I think, is you do get the 2 mana dorks in 1 mana, which is really powerful. So ideally, we jump the curve and go from 1 to 3 and then go from there. But let's try some Cocoing. Let's try some Cocoing. Oh, hit response, draw some cards. Man, that deck was so cool. That deck was so sweet. Yeah, let's Coco it. I can see calling it stacks. It does have some stacks pieces, or at least like Hate Bears. It's kind of like Hate Berry. I have posted my deck list in the comments thread, one specifically with you in mind. Ooh, all right, Mother Frogger. I will keep an eye out. I will look for it in specific. Is there enough 4-power 3-drops in Pioneer to do Gruul Coco with Ronas? Ooh, I mean, I imagine so. I feel like there's a lot of 4-powered 3-drops now. Mana value 3. Power 4. Equal than or greater to. Greater than or equal to 4. There's got to be a ton, right? There's gotta be a ton. Or maybe not a ton, but there's got to be enough. How many 4 power 3 drops do? 144. Jeez. Oh yeah, there's definitely plenty. Yeah, I wonder, that could be cool to try. Just like a Coco deck that's just, rather than trying to do the tricky kind of taxi. Ooh, can we keep this with no mana dork? I think we have to. It might be too slow though. The Tally Brawl Pecan on Arena is actually really sweet. Ooh, I mean, Tally is a pretty fun commander. Maybe fun to play with. Maybe not the most fun to play against, but could you ever hit our swans? Drawing the 1-drop is actually really nice. Could you ever hit our swans and draw some cards in Pioneer? There's no swans in Pioneer, so that's kind of the deal breaker. Maybe we could find another combo that was similar, but yeah, there's no actual swans in Pioneer, sadly. Hey, Seth, I just want to say that you're a big reason I've gotten into Standard and just 2 of my FNM with Demir Control last week. I got Godzilla. Congratulations. That is, ooh, that's a Thalia. That is a Thalia. Oh, huh. Well, this is actually very tough. Congratulations. Swans of Burner Goal is the hitter swans draw a card. One of the coolest cards in Magic, I think. One of the coolest creatures. Just a 4-mana 4/3 flyer that if a source would deal damage to it, it's prevented and its source's controller draws that many cards. So that's how we hit our swans, draw some cards, draw our deck. Do we Thalia here? Actually, you know what? We're going to be greedy. We're going to be a little greedy. We're just going to Skyclave. The problem with playing Thalia here, so if we play Thalia, we definitely slow down Phoenix a lot. However, I kind of want to cast this Coco next turn. So I think we're greedy. We get rid of the Ledger Shredder. They don't have any Arclights in the graveyard yet. So in theory, we can Coco next turn and then stacks our opponent with Thalia the following turn and still be in good shape. Yeah, that's kind of the logic, I think. Want to get the Coco out of our hand first because we don't have any spells in this deck. So if we can get the Coco out of our hand, this Thalia shouldn't hurt us at all, and hopefully hurts our opponent a lot. Every week I build a commander deck using the same theme y'all use on Commander Clash. I've been enjoying the themes a lot pre-Duskmourn and excited for y'all to get back to it. Ooh, that's a super cool idea. You know what, Salty Smacker? I would love to see some of your deck list. That's a really cool idea. I didn't know anyone was doing that. I don't know. I mean, I don't want, I guess, everyone else to steal our thunder. I'm surprised that more Commander shows don't do themes. I feel like it's a really good way to keep it interesting. One thing I don't like that much about other Commander shows is they tend up feeling like kind of samey to me. Well, let's Coco while we can. And, wow, Anointed Peacekeeper and Aven Interrupter. And, well, I think we're naming Lightning Axe. Name the Lightning Axe. Interrupt the Fiery Impulse. And that turn went pretty well. That turn went very well. Hey Seth, I love your videos on YouTube. I have a question for you. Is there any chance that Meme or Dream episode will be returning anytime soon? Funny that you mentioned that, Akiri Gullwing. Actually, the video I was recording this morning before the stream was a Meme or Dream. So there's gonna be a Meme or Dream coming up in the next week or so, like sometime in the relatively near future, because I was actually just working on a Meme or Dream. Huh. Well, go to combat. Hit ya. Play a land untapped. Archon. No. Anointed Piece. No. Thalia. Let's Thalia. and pass the turn. Thalia leave up the Even Interrupter. That makes the most sense. Seth, do you know if Richard has a list on Goldfish for his Modern Domain deck? No, I don't think he does, because I actually looked for that myself this morning. I was actually looking to see. Let me see. I have an earlier version. Here's a version that he sent me, but I know he changed it because he said he dropped the Tarmogoyfs. But it's got to be something similar to this. But without the I think he changed the Tarmogoyfs for Neshoba Brawlers, it sounded like. But yeah, this was an earlier, couple days ago version of the deck. All right, opponent's gonna Lightning Axe, go after the Thalia. Well, opponent, do a little plotting on the Lightning Axe, perhaps. And you can't recast it this turn. Opponent, Pat. Wow, another Coco. That's another Coco. Hit you. Wait, maybe this deck is a little better than I thought. It looks so fair, but its fairness is actually working out. We're just kind of like annoying our opponent to death. Like these little death by 1,000 cuts. Like bounce to this thing, tax this thing, and next thing you know, game over. Seth, after seeing how diverse Pioneer is, should we be expecting more of it on the channel? It's my favorite format for sure. I think we'll be expecting more of it just because I've been enjoying playing it lately. So yes, I mean, assuming you count Explorer as Pioneer, which I just use them interchangeably at this point. But assuming you count Explorer as Pioneer, definitely planning on doing more of it because I feel like Pioneer should be awesome. I feel like it should be like the best format right now, and I feel like it's actually in a good place. So yeah, expect more pioneering. Hey Seth, could the new red lane line see play in Modern? Yes, although it hasn't much yet. But I think it has the potential to see play in Modern. I honestly think that red deck in Standard, I was thinking about trying to do it for a video, but I think if I took that deck and we just played it in Pioneer, we would win a lot with it. If we played it in Modern, I think we could win with it. I don't know if we'd win a lot with it, but I think even all the way back to Modern, we'd be able to win a reasonable amount of time with it. Legacy, probably no bets, but I feel like the Leyline Pump Spell 1-drop plan is just so good that you could actually just play the standard budget deck and win in Pioneer at least with it. Stupid question, what is Pioneer? So there's a whole bunch of formats in Magic, but there's a few main ones. So you probably know Standard. That's the most recent 3 years worth of cards. You probably know Modern, which is cards going back to like 2003 to current. So like 20 years of cards. In between those two formats is Pioneer. Pioneer's like the last 12 years of cards, 11 years of cards. It starts with the set Return to Ravnica, which was 2013, I want to say, something like that. So essentially, I guess we need to sideboard real quick. So essentially, it's a non-rotating format similar to Modern, but the card pool is not as big as Modern. It's about half the size of Modern. And one of the things that I like the most about... Oh, I'm not shifting away from Standard. I love this Standard. I'm very much enjoying Standard. If anything, I think where the Pioneer's coming from is... Oh, yeah, we're going to try this. Hearse is so good in this matchup. I think it's worth the one land, one keep. If anything, I think the Pioneer is kind of maybe replacing a little bit where Modern used to be for me. Because Modern for me, I talked about it a little bit earlier. I've been struggling with Modern lately, just like enjoying it the way that I did in the past. So I think Standard is in a really good spot right now. Really, really like Standard. Yeah, the red lane line, I think they're probably going to have to ban it eventually. But overall, I think Standard's really good. I think Pioneer's really good. So Pioneer's kind of just become, when I'm not playing Standard, my non-rotating format of choice. And I feel like Pioneer is going to be a better against the odds format than Modern right now. I feel like there's just more potential to win with janky decks. Well, let's just Anointed Peacekeeper, I guess. Get a peek at what's going on with Leia. Brazen Borrower, double picklock pranks. Wait, so how does this work? When it enters, look at opponent's hand, then choose a card name. Oh. So, can we name Free the Fae? So we can name, so if we want them to not cast the instant mode, we have to name that. We could name Brazen Borrower. I think we just name Free the Fae. Make it hard for our opponent to fill their graveyard. We're supposed to have Pioneer. Oh, that's the other thing about Pioneer that makes it kind of appealing to me at the moment is it's the non-rotating format that doesn't have any Horizon sets, doesn't have any supplemental products. So I don't know. I've seen some people talk about like Modern Pure, and what if we create Modern, it doesn't have Horizons in it, which I don't think would be what we want anyway. Like at this point, that is what Modern is. We just gotta play it for what it is. But it is nice to have one non-rotating format that actually doesn't have to deal with those problems. All right, there's a Lightning Axe. Sure. We might have to play this on Licensors. I really want to Coco, but I feel like we really can't let this Treasure Cruise pop off. That would be bad. Oh, about it. Passing. Well, let's play the land. Play the hearse. Play an Elvish Mystic. And also an Elvish Mystic. So many elves. And then we're just going to do this right now. Eat you. I don't know how Leyline got printed with the design that are high variance, which I already kind of question when it's good in multiples and kills on turn 2. Yeah, the more I think about that card, the more I cannot figure out why they thought it was a good idea to print it as it was. Honestly, as much as I know people hate this restriction, I feel like that's the kind of card that maybe could have used the once per turn restriction, or like that's a card that would have been sweet in a Horizon set. I feel like in Standard, like I don't even know if the win rate's too good in Standard. It's just like such a play pattern. Like I just don't know if we want people to die on turn 2 with some amount of consistency in Standard. Kind of like Tybalt's Trickery. Like Tybalt's Trickery wasn't too good, but the play pattern was just not something we wanted in Standard. I feel like this deck is way more competitive than Standard Trickery was, but it also still has that same kind of play pattern. Opponent gonna consider. And I'm not saying we won't play Modern anymore. Like Modern over the course of the last 10 years is my favorite format. It's still my all-time favorite format. So we'll still do some more Moderning. I've just been feeling unmotivated to try to figure out how to make Modern work right now. I have a best of 1 Standard deck that I think you'll find interesting. It's an archetype I've dubbed Ratatouille, where you're trying to use effects like Stonebrain to exile the opponent's entire deck. That actually sounds super hilarious. Bonnet passing. Wow, double hearse. I'm not sure that Phoenix can beat 2 hearses. Actually, maybe. They might still be able to Treasure Cruise. 1, 2. Play them Licensors. And exile. I guess if they try to Treasure Cruise, we can interrupt it. Standard Ratatouille. Caught down, duress. Cruel Claw's Ice, go for the throat, Shielder's Edict. That is a super funny idea. So you get Deadly Cover up the end, Stonebrain, they can exile cards. That looks funny when it works. Modern is the best format, in my opinion. Yeah, Modern has always been my favorite format. Oh, about it. Brazen Borrower. Like, I'm a Modern player through and through. Modern, it's just like got such a big card pool. You do so many things. It's really the Modern Horizon stuff. I still haven't come to grips with it. I think that's what I gotta come to grips with. Well, I think this is a pretty good time to cast a Aven Interrupter. Wow, we got their entire graveyard, and they don't get to Treasure Cruise. And we get down the Interrupter. Yes, our opponent gets a Ledger Shred, but we got a Coco. We got the Coco coming. We got the Coco coming. About it. Seth, you know about the Magic manga, Destroy All Humans That Can't Be Regenerated? It's a manga about a couple that played Magic, and it's set in the 90s. I have had people in chat talk to me about it before. I know Doug, Day in Wildfire, has talked to me about it before. I've never actually watched it or read it, but so I know it exists, but that's as far as I've gotten with it. Is it actually pretty good? Yeah, I guess I can still cast it. They can still cast it next turn. It gives us more time to keep exiling the graveyard. Wow, so many elves. Too many elves. Well, let's exile and exile. And I think we just main phase the Coco. Well, Voice of Resurgence, Thalia. All right, how about a 3 mana? How about a 3 mana version of Treasure Cruise? Still pretty good. Still not bad, but we're taxing them. We're taxing them. When does Wizards take over Fishmail? I know. Now that we have actually done Fishmail for the first time in forever, we got to look over our shoulders. WotC might be coming. WotC might be coming for us. I think that we talked about it. I'm curious your thoughts. We had an internal talk about Fishmail, and we were like, okay, we got to do one of two things. Either we actually do Fishmail every week, and we make it a point that we save 5 minutes at the end of the cast to do Fishmail, or we get rid of Fishmail, stop calling it out every episode, and like once every few months. Yeah, that's part of what I'm hyped about Pioneer right now, is actually it does kind of feel like Modern from a few years ago. And if you look at it by the number of sets and the size of the card pool, it's very similar. Like, my favorite time in Modern was like 2015-ish, like give or take a few years. But that's when Modern was like 13 years worth of sets. And right now we're at like 11 or 12 years worth of sets in Pioneer. So I feel like this should be Pioneer's peak time. Like the next 2, 3, 4 years, this should be when Pioneer, it is at its absolute most fun based on the history of Modern. So yeah, it's either make sure we do it every cast and save time for it, or get rid of it as a weekly thing, and then once every couple of months, just do like a Fishmail cast where we just do a like Ask Us AMA style cast almost, where we just get all the questions out of the way at once. So I think we're leaning towards just making sure we try to do at least one question. I don't want to say every episode, but basically every episode. Like that's the current goal. I kind of wish we'd stop drawing elves. I kind of wish we would stop drawing the elves. So there's a problem with playing a deck that's only 2/2s. Actually closing out the game in a timely manner is not easy. Oh, hey, what's up, Awesome Ball? We are playing some Super Fair Green-White Collected Company at the moment. Crackles. Oh, that is a biggin. That's a biggin. We're going to need to draw a Coco, and we're going to need to draw the Coco very quickly. Well, I guess we're going to start exiling our graveyard. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Oh, Razorverge Thicket is not a Coco. Well, I guess it's crewing time. Crew up a hearse. Crew up a hearse. Gotta combat. Attack ya, attack ya. I mean, this is a big chunk of damage. If our opponent doesn't block. Man, we can't have 2 hearses and still lose to Coco, or still lose to to Phoenix. That'd be so bad. Do you think Arabella might work in this deck? Huh. Maybe. Arabella is what? Creatures. Eh. Let me look up Arabella. Its creature is what? Power 2 or less? Arabella. Whenever it attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. I mean, we got a lot of creatures power 2 or less. I don't know if we want to splash into a whole nother color for it, but in a state like this, I mean, it would deal a huge amount of damage. Maybe it's just how this game played out that, like, our opponent hasn't really been killing many of our creatures. Wow, they went to 2? I was not expecting our opponent to go to 2. That kind of means our opponent basically needs to kill us this turn, right? Which I guess they might be able to do because of Artist Talent plus Crackling Drake. They might be able to just get enough spells. They can bounce the Even Interrupter to get rid of the blockers. We only have 1 flyer, so our opponent might just be able to one-shot us here. If they can't one-shot us here, though, we do win on the backswing. Opponent on the clock. Wow, there. Wow! Opponent scoops it up. Wow, 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 wow. I didn't realize they were so low on clock. Whew. I thought we were dead there. I thought we were going to be dead. Like, couldn't they? So they have the Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower bounced this. Loot with the Artist Talent. Loot with the Ledger Shredder. They're at 14 power. Discard, discard. Maybe they just didn't have enough spells. They don't need many spells in the graveyard, though, to just be able to kill us there. Well, we will take it. Yeah, I think Arabella could be just a fun card to build around. It's become a pretty popular commander. What is the coolest Brawl commander? If we do a Brawl video, what would be the coolest Brawl commander? Marvin's such a cool card, but seems very tough to use as your commander. Norn's kind of funny. Yeah, I was thinking I'd have like Ops or Considers or so forth. Winter could be funny. Maybe we can build a deck. Brawl works pretty good for building mean commander decks that I wouldn't play in actual commander. But maybe we can try to build the Mind Twist Your Hand with Winter plan. Krim's Mind Skinner deck on Commander Clash was sweet. That deck was really sweet. We already did Marina Vanilla in Standard, but I do like Rooms. Jolly Balloon Man might be coming up soon on the YouTube, like very soon. So keep an eye out for that one. Nico, I played Nico in actual commander and it was really good. I think Nico's a really sweet commander. Then the rest of the list kind of meh, I guess. They didn't put the commander face cards on, right? Historic Brawl. I don't think they put the commander face cards on this time. I'm pretty sure. No one plays Tyvar. Poor Tyvar. It seems very, very hard to make a mono green elf commander. It seems so tough because there's so many good ones already. And this feels very elfy, right? It pumps your creatures, it becomes indestructible, which I guess isn't really elfy, but it feels like a fine elf commander, but it's just another elf. Elves are kind of like Boros Equipment, right? You see another Boros Equipment commander, and even if it's cool, you're like, okay, like, I have 10 other cards that kind of do the same thing. I think that's why cards that stick out to people are like, Arena of Vanilla, got the set mechanic. Winter is unique. Mind Skinner is unique. I think people gravitate towards the unique stuff over the stuff that's just kind of a different version of something they've seen a million times. Zimone could be sweet. Zimone could be a fun build around. See if we can get some prime numbers going. Any Marvin deck's able to be made. So Marvin in Commander, I think, is very tough. I think Marvin in Commander is tough because being limited to colorless is just very, very tricky for what Marvin wants as far as the combos. I feel like Marvin as a 99 card is very good. And Marvin was actually, we talked about Tree of Perdition winning the 2,000 player RC, almost 2,000 player RC in Pioneer. Marvin was actually in that deck. The Tree of Perdition combo deck does play Marvin as a backup combo with Tree of Perdition. So Marvin is seeing play. Not like a huge amount of play, but it is seeing play. Ooh, Enduring Innocence. I want to see if Enduring Innocence is actually good. Let's get rid of Peacekeeper doesn't draw with Enduring Innocence. Kellen does, but this is, yeah, all right. Are we greedy enough? Are we on the draw? Can we put a land at the bottom? You know what? We're going to put a land at the bottom. What's the worst that can happen? Land and Elvish Mystic. Go. Yeah, Jolly Balloon Man's a really cool card, too. Oh, that card's so much fun. Duskmourn, how are you liking Duskmourn now that you got to play with it for a bit? Oh, all right. All right. Well, that is kind of the max punishment for putting the land at the bottom. Oh, boy. Oh, dear. Well, we can get down the Kellen, which can maybe dig for lands. We really wanted this Enduring Innocence. That was the card we were waiting for. One of the great things about Pioneer right now is they banned Sorin for the Vampire combo, which was a dominant Rakdos deck. And now Rakdos is kind of all over the place. There's a few different versions of Rakdos, which is really cool. All right, we got to mana 3 still, just barely. Enduring Innocence, the Sheep Glimmer is here. What cards from Modern do you want to see in Pioneer? I want to see Mana Tithe in Pioneer. Oh, Mana Tithe. They should put Mana Tithe in Foundations. Bring it back to Standard. Let us teach some Zoomers about it. But yes, I would love to see Mana Tithe. Blood Moon, maybe? Maybe just a little Blood Mooning. Blood Moon's not that bad. Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, I mean, they printed new Bloodbraid. Ooh, Croxa. Croxa Shieldred. Well, actually, you know what? Let's name... Actually, no. Croxa. Yeah, let's name... Well, then they Bitter Triumph. Let's name... Bitter Triumph. On second thought, we're going to play this like it's a bat in Standard. And we are going to name the thing that can kill it. And we're not going to play the land, because we might have to discard the Croxa, so then we can Skyclave to draw a card with their Enduring Innocence. I'm actually unreasonably excited about Foundations. I think Foundations... There is a little bit of nervousness when Wizard says these cards are going to be legal forever, or for at least 5 years. Like, that's a little scary, but if things go wrong, they could go wrong in a really, really brutal way. Well, go to combat. Get in, hit ya. They could go wrong in a really, really bad way. If there's a mistake, it's going to be really brutal. But if there's not, I think it's actually going to be really good for Standard. So Foundations, I think spoilers start around when we're in Vegas. It releases the middle of next month. I believe that spoilers happen during the MagicCon in Vegas, so the end of the month. Wizards will play it very safe with Foundations. I mean, that would have been my guess. But they already started spoiling some of the cards, and the early spoilers are not exactly safe. Like, that's what I would have thought too, right? This is some sort of, underpowered core set, essentially. But that's not how it really looks to me. Like, Llanowar Elves, they haven't put that card in Standard for years. Llanowar Elves is an incredibly strong card. Omniscience is a really scary effect. And even kind of like the boring cards, like Anthem of Champions, it's just a 2-mana Anthem, which is cheaper than it usually is. Day of Judgment. It wasn't that long ago they wouldn't put 4-mana Rast in Standard. So I'm, surprised at how strong the cards are. I was thinking it's all going to be super watered down, unplayable stuff, but the cards that they've shown off so far do not give me that impression. Like, they actually seem like pretty good cards. But we haven't seen, an Oko or an Omnath yet. Wow, opponent. Going to get a little bit blown out here by a Werefox Bodyguard. And yeah, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Get rid of that. And we will draw... Oh, we got the Fatal Push? No, okay. We draw with Enduring Innocence. This deck's actually just played really well. This deck actually, it looks so fair, but Enduring Innocence is popping off, and we just kind of tempo people out. All of our little dorks just add up, and opponent scoops it up. Yeah, I don't know. If they're going Llanowar, anything. I mean, I don't think they could put, Counterspell. Mana Leak. I can see Mana Leak. I can see them putting Mana Leak into standard forever. Which would be, like, if they're putting Llanowar in, I could see that being an option. Not that they will, but I could see it actually. Nadu. Let's have Nadu in standard forever. Standard is supposed to be a low-powered format, and it's literally just becoming Pioneer Light. I think Bolt, if it wasn't for Red already being the most complained about archetype, I actually think Bolt could be okay for standard. Best of 1 might mess it up, but best of 3 standard, I think Bolt would be fine. I think it would be okay. If anything, like, I don't know, maybe it's good. Do we want Red decks to have an easy way to kill a Zorline or whatever? Like, maybe? Like, is Bolt even... Is it even too much of a problem for standard? Would it be? I don't know. Maybe it would be. I think that Wizards is intentionally trying to make standard more like Pioneer. Like, we went through this. Oh, I don't think Thoughtseize, I don't think that'll happen. Inquisition, maybe. That might even be too good. Bolt and Pioneer is probably a bigger issue than Bolt and Standard. I think you're right. That's probably a bigger drawback. Bolt that doesn't go face. Chain Lightning, the wording's just too old and weird. But yeah, Chain Lightning, maybe Sorcery Speed Lightning Bolt, that would power it down. A Strangly Lightning Bolt. What else do we want against this deck? Maybe just a little bit more removal. Probably don't need Archon of Emeria. Yeah, let's try it like that. Is there anything you... Ooh, Lava Spike. See, I would actually think Lava Spike would be a good addition, because right now, the dominant way to play red is to throw pump spells at your creatures to try to combo kill. Maybe it would be good if it was encouraging... So many 3-drops. Maybe it would be good if it was encouraging people to throw burn spells at their opponent's face instead of pump spells with their creatures. Maybe we could have 2 different versions of red, right? One that's like the Leyline pump spell version, one that's a burn deck version. I will say, I think Wizards is intentionally trying to pioneerify standard. Like, they've talked about this, right? They want standard to rotate slower. They have heard from players, apparently, that they want it to rotate slower. So they slowed rotation down. So we rotate less. More sets are in standard. We skip rotation, so now more sets are in standard. So they've done that on purpose. And then we have Foundations bringing in this never rotating, or at least not for 5 years rotating, core set. So I feel like Wizards is kind of intentionally trying to make standard more like Pioneer, because I think that's what people want. And I don't know if that's right or not. I guess we'll find out. But do we have to Brutal Cathar the token? We probably do. I would like to get down the Enduring Innocence first, but we can have that Goblin making treasures. That's when things go bad. The question is, do you think that actually will make Standard better? Like, do we actually want Standard to be more like Pioneer? I can see the upsides and downsides of it. Like, I think it'll depend on the person. I think some people will like it less that way. Other people, I think it'll actually be better. Logic Ataxian Probe. How about a Mental Misstep? Let's just put Mental Misstep into standard. Actually, Mental Misstep would be fine in standard, but it would not be fine in any other format. Long nap for the 39th month. Woo, Seth. I haven't been able to get you live in ages, but I want to say, keep up the great works. And Pioneers really got me back into 60-card formats right now. I'm right there with you. I've been loving Pioneer lately. Pioneer's been in such a sweet spot. Well, let's play this Brutal Cathar. Draw a card. Gotta get rid of the Reflections, unfortunately. But this does mean they can kill the Brutal Cathar. And, yep, even more Fatal Pushes. And get back the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Well, play the Plains, pass the turn. Opponent's gonna start. We need another Enduring Innocence. Maybe Enduring Innocence is the card that can make this work. Yeah, what would be the cantrip they would add? Serum Visions or Preordain? Would they actually put put Preordain into standard? That would be wild. I could see consider Serum Visions for sure. Huh. Well, I mean, we can only do one thing, sadly. Yeah, I mean, I think we actually play it. Because if we draw land, it's so good. Yeah, let's play the Werefox now. Drawing a land is just so good because it lets us double spell this turn. So, Werefox Bodyguard, get rid of the token. Draw an untap land, please. Yes, okay, that worked exactly like we hoped. Like, exactly how we drew it up. Now we still have the Werefox up. We have the even Interrupter up. Pound it, gonna draw a Castle Lockway. Down to 16. This is going to be a close game. This is going to be a very close game. Opponent flips the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Untaps with the Bone Crusher Giant. 2 cards in hand. Plays a Swamp. And going to go to combat. And hit us with the Bone Crusher. Sure. We'll take it for now. Yeah. Down to 10. What's that last card? Graveyard Trespasser. Well, let's even Interrupter it. Draw a card. Get rid of the Graveyard Trespasser. There's a Kellen. Well, Elvish Mystic, draw a card. Notice Enduring Innocence does not have a once per turn restriction. Llanowar Elves, draw a card. Wait. It does have a once per turn restriction, even when it's an enchantment. Arena. Deceiving me, Arena. Alright, they ghosted it out, but it still applies. Just a visual bug. Well, let's do attack. Okay, we kind of wanted to draw even more cards. Goyf Standard would be fine. Goyf Standard, I don't even know if Goyf Standard would be good, honestly. Like, I don't even know if Goyf would be good in Standard. Yeah, we should have read. We should have read more of the card. I don't know why they're so gung-ho about when it dies, return to the battlefield. Why does that part matter? I was cast my second Llanowar. It's like, oh, we're gonna pop off. We're gonna pop off with these elves, but nope. The magic gods have thought of that. Yeah, Tarmogoyf. I mean, we have Urborg Lurgoyf. We have Cruel Somnophage. Those cards, I think, are actually generally better than Tarmogoyf in Standard because getting a bunch of different. There's no Mishra's Bauble or whatever, so getting a bunch of different card types is tougher than just getting a bunch of creatures, and those cards have not been good. I think Goyf is actually just a safe card. I think it shows how Magic has changed. I think Goyf has showed. And the thing is, Goyf is still a good card, too. Like, Goyf, it's not as good as it used to be, but Goyf still sees playing Modern. It still sees playing Vintage, like Legacy. So it's still good, but it's just not the $200 monstrosity that it was before. Yeah, I don't know how Foundations Limited is going to be. My hope is, and don't take this the wrong way, but my hope is Foundations Limited sucks. Because I hope that they are so focused on making, if they're going to put these cards in Standard forever, I hope that they have every single playtester working as hard as they can on making sure this is the best Standard core set that they have ever made in the history of the game. And if that means that Limited is not good or doesn't even exist for this set, I would be fine with it. Because I think the goal of Foundations is to make a never rotating core set for Standard. And they just, I think one of Magic's biggest issues design wise right now is they're just split into so many different directions. Like, they're trying to make cards that are for Commander and Modern and Pioneer and Standard and Draft and Oathbreaker and Kamigawa Black Tiny Leaders. They're trying to make so many cards, and it's very, very, very difficult. It's got to be very difficult. So I don't think it's actually wrong to be like, this set's Commander Masters, and we're just going to focus exclusively on Commander. Only on Commander, no Limited, whatever. If none of these cards see play in Legacy, that's fine. Or we are going to make this Standard set called Foundations, and we're just going to focus exclusively on making this set as good as it can possibly be for Standard. If Limited isn't great, whatever, it's okay, because that's not the focus for this set. So, Hymn to Turok would still be very good. Hymn to Turok would be very good. Ooh, second Enduring Innocence. That's, speaking of very good, second Enduring Innocence, very good. We're like drawing a lot of cards. We're drawing a lot of cards. Enduring Innocence. Draw us a land. Okay, go to combat. Hit you with the flyer. Well, we got a Coco. Him to Turok would still be... Him to Turok, I would not want in Modern still. I would not want it in Modern, not want it in Pioneer. I think the fact that the discard is random is just so strong. You know how we were playing Modern the other day and we were playing the Hollow One deck and we got that turn 0 win or turn 1 win where our opponent discarded all their lands to Burning Inquiry? If Him to Turok was in the format, we would be saying stuff like that way more often. Well, all right. Galactic Company. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Wow. Oh my god, all four. All four. Sheep Tribal, Sheep Tron. Draw us some cards, you little glimmers. Okay, so maybe it turns out that Enduring Innocence kind of changed how this deck works. That seems possible. That maybe the card that we missed is just Enduring Innocence is such a card advantage engine. We're drawing new hands every turn. Like, maybe Enduring Innocence is just such a good card draw engine that a deck like this can work now when it couldn't work before. Like, maybe the sheep is the card that makes it possible. Get in, hit ya. We still have Coco for instant speed. We just gotta not mill out. Our Selesnya deck is actually at risk of milling out. Don't we have lethal with the Dunes activation? You're probably right. I didn't actually count or even remember that we had a Dunes in the mana base. So, yes, we can count in just a minute. Let's discard this card. So if we activate Dunes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. They had one card in hand. So if they have a removal spell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blockers, 5. I don't think it was guaranteed. If their card in hand was removal, I think they could have fizzled it. But yes, we were very close to just having lethal right there if we did not have lethal. I mean, we should have lethal this turn. Oh. Shieldred. So does this mean we can't Collected Company? Wait, do we still have lethal? How do we do this now? Does this Shielder just ruin our day? Here's what we do. We max Sheep Block. We max Sheep Block so we can gain enough life that we can cast this Coco and not die to Shieldred. I think that's the plan. All of the Sheep block this Goblin. They all deal damage. They all have lifelink. So we go up to 15. Plus, we can hit something that answers the Shieldred. We have a bunch of answers. Well, here's a Coco. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Oh, no. Oh, that is disastrous. That is disastrous. Like, game-losing disastrous. Wow. Only an Aven Interrupter. Oh, yeah, found it. Yeah, keep going. Shieldred. That's a card. Oh, there's the Skyclave. I don't even think we can cast it. Well, we're down to 5. Wait, if we cast... So, chat, if we cast the Skyclave, can we stack our triggers that the Shieldred's gone before we burn out? Is that possible? So we cast the Skyclave. Maybe we have to turn off auto order triggered abilities. So we should be able to, right? Like, or you think we die? The problem is if we just use Dunes and attack all, don't we get got by a removal spell? Opponent's at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because they kill this, they get another blocker. Well, all right, we'll go for it. I'm actually curious if we can cast it or not. We should be able to stack them, right? We should be able to stack them. But if we Aven Interrupter, we die to the Shieldred because we draw cards with Enduring Innocence. Yeah, I guess we can Peacekeeper. Yeah, Peacekeeper has enough power that we can actually cast it. Let's Peacekeeper. That makes sense. Although this does mean we don't have enough mana to do multiple things. Oh, okay. Sure. I think we're good then. I think we're good. I think we're good. So now we can sack this desert, pump the dorks. Oh, no removal in hand. Sack the desert. We made it look close. We made it look close. But in the end, the little desert that could. And go to go to combat and swing with. I guess we can just attack with the 2 flyers, right? We don't even have to swing with everything else. Although I guess we can swing with everything else. Yeah, let's just. There's no point. Let's just attack with the 2 flyers. Get in with the interrupters. Interrupt you. And GG. Oh, thank goodness. So wait, where do we land with the for science? Can we stack our triggers or not? Yeah, I mean, we win the game. I'm actually curious though. We should be able to, right? I believe we can. We gotta be able to. We gotta be able to. I think you just have to go into full control mode or turn off the auto-triggered abilities like we did. Like, I think if you don't do that, it's not going to work. But as long as you do one of those things, you should be able to stack your triggers in a way that it works. Oh, divert in Foundations. I want mana. I want Mana Tithe. Mana Tithe would be sweet. More white counters. I kind of wish more colors had counters in some ways. What do you make of this, chat? This is blowing my mind. Are you doing this, chat? Look at the biggest gainers in Magic. The cards who have gone up the most in price. Primeval Titan, all versions, doubling, tripling, quadrupling up in price. Paradox Engine, shooting up in price. If you look at the cards that are gaining the most, it is almost exclusively Coalition Victory, Armageddon, Biorhythm. These are cards that are straight up banned in Commander. Hull Breacher, Sway of the Stars, Sylvan Primordial. Are you buying these cards? Do you actually think those cards are getting unbanned in Commander? I haven't figured out if this is Magic players who are buying these cards or if these are like finance types who are buying the cards. If it's finance types doing it, then I get it. Like if it's people speculating, that's fine. I don't think it's because people heard rumors. I think it's because Wizards like straight up said like we're reevaluating the ban list and people are using that as a jumping off point to like buy ban cards in hopes that they get unbanned. If it's just people speculating, then I guess that makes sense. Like, MTG Finance gonna MTG Finance. Like, you're not gonna be able to stop that. Secret Lair unban. Yeah, I kind of wish Wizards did more of that. Do we just interrupt this? We want to draw a card. I think we do. I think we go tempo. Aven Interrupter. All right, there's a No More Lies. Sure. Well, now we just untapping Coco. I'll play the Brushland, Coco. Thalia's good. And I guess Archon of Emeria is fine. Draw a card with the sheep. Ooh, more lands. Hit ya. Down to 16 past the turn. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I think people are going a little crazy, though. Like, if you think they're going to be unbanning Paradox Engine, Primeval Titan, Sylvan Primordials, like, this is just, like, the ban list being bought out. It's just, like, buying everything. Yeah, I think we got to get rid of this Kunaros. Hit ya. Down to 12 past the turn. And this deck's felt really good. Is this one of those new Pioneer Tournament decks? This is Green White Collected Company. Yeah, that was played in the Pioneer. Oh, see? We're doing it right now. So we can stack the triggers. So the Werefox eats the Shieldred. Then we draw. All right, another Enduring Innocence. We're like a counterspell away. Archon of Emeria. I'll go to combat. Hit ya. Found it. Down to 4. I think Enduring Innocence made this deck work. Hey, what's up, Killclaw? Denick? The Denick system. We're buying Pioneer at the moment. Hey, what's up, Killclaw? How are you? I love you too. Opponent passes. Alive at the moment, sort of. Well, that's Archon of Emeria. Draw a couple cards. Opponent looking at the Werefox. Thinking about the Werefox. Let's it go. We draw a couple cards. Another Enduring Innocence. Llanowar Elves. Well, go to combat. Hit ya. Down to 2. And play the land tapped. Pass the turn. Paradox Engine and Foundations. I mean, Paradox Engine is a cool card. Yeah, I mean, they just have mana up. The problem is, it's just so risky, right? Because we have the Werefox Bodyguard with the Shieldred under it. So if we attack with everything, they kill the Werefox Bodyguard, they get back the Shieldred, they gain 2 Adenic, and they block with the Shieldred, and then all of a sudden we go from a position where we almost can't lose this game to a position where we very much can lose this game. Opponent gets in, connives. Discards another Adenic. Yeah, we'll just take it. We're gonna go for the win this turn, I think. Opponent passes. Ooh, another Werefox is nice. Land untapped. Go to combat. And opponent scoops it up. Elvish Archdruid should be in Foundations. It should be in Foundations. That's like the perfect Elf Lord. Just wait for the one moment where they unban Coalition Victory. You go back to play Clash, and you have 2 removed by a mono black spell by Richard or Crib. I actually wonder if Coalition Victory... Would you like playing against Coalition Victory? I always feel like it should be unbanned, right? Just like power level wise, it doesn't seem like it should be too strong because it's 7 mana, but I could see how people might be salty about it just ending the game, right? Most win con, it might be casual Thoracle. It might be casual Thoracle, if that makes sense. Like, you know the feeling of Thoracle where your opponent just literally wins the game on the spot, and like nothing you did before that game really matters. When it comes down to it, you played Commander for an hour or a half hour, an hour and a half, and in the end, all that really mattered was someone went Demonic Consultation, Thassa's Oracle, and the game just ends. And you're like, okay, like, yeah, sure, but like the last hour should matter too. I wonder if Coalition Victory could be that for casual. It's obviously not anywhere near as strong because it's a million mana, right? It's a million mana and needs you to be 5 colors and has a lot of restrictions. But I could see it having a little bit of that same feel bad almost, if that makes sense, where you just like, where you go to play it and it just ends up invalidating everything else that happened during the game before it. And you come away from it feeling like kind of bad instead of good about it. So that'd be my only concern. I think I'm still on like Team Unbanned Coalition Victory, but I can see a downside to it. Well, all right, we'll try it. No mana dork. Ilskia, oh my god, I said that so wrong. Elkisa, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do this for an upcoming Commander Clash podcast. we're gonna do this for a Clash podcast that I'm actually very excited for. So they've talked about doing the new bracket thing, right? Where they're gonna rank commander cards on a 1 to 4 scale. And the ones are like the ones you can play in every deck. The 4s are like the CDH essentially, or maybe non-CDH, with the strongest cards in the format. TW level fingers, 10 level fingers, 12 level fingers, 12 level fingers. Welcome to the Fishbowl, whoever you may be. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. So here's my question. How would you rank some of these cards? So here's one that I've been going back and forth about. So 1 is like precons, 4 is CDH or casual CDH, whatever you want to call it. 2 and 3 in between. Diabolic Tutor. What number would you give Diabolic Tutor from 1 to 4? Because on one hand, it's an unconditional tutor, right? You can tutor up literally anything with it. On the other hand, it's 4 mana and sorcery speed. Interesting. 3/4, 3/2, 2/1. My initial gut was 1. But then it was funny. The reason I'm interested in it, Diabolic's 4 mana. It's 4 mana, double black and 2 to just tutor a card from your deck to your hand. The reason I'm interested in this one is, Krim was like 4. Krim thought it was a 4. I thought it was like a 1. Because Krim's thinking was, well, it's an unconditional tutor, right? It's an unconditional tutor, so that should obviously be a 4, because it's similar to, like, Vampiric Tutor, which Wizard said was a 4. My thinking was, it's like an uncommon. It's an uncommon, it costs 4 mana. Like, it's way worse than Vampiric or Demonic or so many other tutors that it's probably, whatever, it's a 1, it's a precon card. I think how these are going to be scored is going to be very, very interesting. I can see Krim's point. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see his point. What about, okay, here's another one I find interesting. Farewell. What is Farewell? On one hand, they have Wrath and precons, right? Wraths are just staple cards that need to show up in every... Enduring Innocence and Voice Resurgence. Not bad hits. And we get to draw a card. But Farewell is also a Wrath that gets rid of everything. And it exiles everything. And it's very salty. 2? So keep it out of the 1s. So what would be a 1 Wrath? Damnation? Wrath of God? Like... Or his idea that 1s should have 0 sweepers. That can't be right. So 1 would be like Day of Judgment, Blasphemous Act, Wrath of God. Like just the absolute base level. No witnesses. Okay, I guess you could go even more expensive. Like maybe... So what's Wrath of God in Damnation? Are they like 2s? And then the worst ones, like Fumigates, like the 4 or 5, 6... Or like the 5-6 mana sweepers, those would be 1s? I'm actually just intrigued by this. I don't even know if any of it really matters. Or if in the end, it's all going to play out exactly the same anyway and doesn't actually make a difference. But I think the numbering process is that, Bane of Progress. Bane's got to be a 1, right? It's got to be a 1. How about this one? Here's a good one. Aetherize or Settle the Wreckage is 1s. So you think, okay, conditional Wraths would be 1s. How about this one? So this is a card that was in a Commander Precon initially, but it's a card that I actually think the format would be better without. Like, I think this card should probably not exist. Teferi's Protection. Where would you put Teferi's Protection? So it's a Precon card. Very powerful card. But it's powerful because it saves you when it saves your board, right? The thing I hate about T-Pro is it's another one of those game invalidating cards. The games like where it just saves your board or whatever, fine, I don't care. The games where you do this huge, like, cool thing, right? You do the big thing and you have this big turd and you do all these things and your deck's, popping off and you spend, your minutes doing the thing and then you go to attack and your opponent's just like, Teferi's Protection. Like, come on now. Didn't you not see how much effort I put into my janky 7-card combo? Did you not see how much effort I put into this? Yeah, I think I would lean towards 3 to 4. I think like high 3. like, if it's anything less than a 3, I would be shocked. Like, if it's a 2, I will be surprised. Or are we in a Coco mirror? We might be in a Coco mirror. If it's less than a 3, I'll be surprised. How do you feel about rating all the cards in your deck, including your commander, and then taking the average of the card values in your deck? I like it in theory. Create X map tokens where X is 1 plus... Do we actually have to map token? I think we do. Oh, this feels so bad. So map token. Crack it. See if we can hit a land. Nope, just another elf. All right, well, pass the turn. Ay, 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 ay. About it. Mr. Thalid redeeming the on-screen celebration. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you can post links. Any safe magic links are allowed in the chat. Minus Well Gaming, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you, thank you, thank ya. Okay, how about? Oh, okay. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Okay, how about Soul Ring? This is kind of a trick question because we already know where Wizard stands on this. We already know where Wizard stands. Kind of cute that we get the Enduring Innocence and then get the card draw. We already know where Wizard stands on it. But where do you stand? You're WotC now. 44301 442. The funny thing is, I will accept 0 or 1. I will accept 4. The one answer that I will not accept is 2 or 3. That is the one answer that I do not think can be correct. If you want to say it's a 0 or 1 because it's iconic or whatever justification there is, even though you know that it's actually like a broken card, but you think it should exist even though it's broken, I can respect that. Please do not say that I'm WotC now. I revoked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. By comparing you to WotC. But yes, if you think it's a 0 or 1 because it's iconic and it's grandfathered into the format or whatever, sure, fine. If you think it's a 4 because it is broken and it's like Mana Crypt and so forth, also fine. The only thing I cannot see a justification of is like a 2 or a 3. Like, I don't know how you can sell me on Soul Ring being a 2 or a 3. It's all or nothing. It's either broken and a 4, or it's iconic in a 1. Or a 0, I guess. Ooh. The One Ring. How would I rate the one? So the One Ring is tricky. Honestly, I think the One Ring, it's got to be a 4. I think it's got to be a 4. Yeah, I mean, they said 0, which isn't even an actual thing. I think 0 is them saying, don't worry at all about banning this. I think the One Ring's a clear 4. I don't even know if you can argue. Maybe if I squint really hard, maybe I could say 3, like a super high 3, but I think it's got to be a 4. It's ubiquitous, it's overpowered, it's super expensive. It's a card that, yeah, this is the first card we've agreed in. Every single person has said 4 so far. We have not had agreement like this with any other card. I'm so focused on Commander. What were we playing, chat? What was our last matchup? Who were we sideboarding against? Oh no, we're in the mirror, right? We're in the mirror. Okay, yeah. Yes, we're mirroring. Which means we can get rid of Archon of Amiria. It should not be colorless. The funny thing is, Wizards learned that lesson. They learned that lesson like 5 years ago and started making more colored artifacts, like Bolas's Citadel having black mana in it. So they learned that lesson, but I think that they just get a pass with like the Universes Beyond sets, and they just kind of go to town and do whatever they want. All right, what else was interesting? Oh, okay. I gotta give you the Crim special, because I'm sure there's gonna be debate about this card when we come to the podcast. The Crim special. All right, chat. Give me your score on this classic, beloved commander card, Spreading Plague. If you somehow don't know this card, which I hope for your sake you don't, because boy, no one likes playing against this card. Spreading Plague, 5 mana black enchantment. It says, when a creature comes into play, destroy all other creatures. They share color with it. They can't be regenerated. So it is essentially a wrath, but it's a wrath that wraths all creatures of the color whenever a creature comes into play. It's a wrath that just sits out on the battlefield and keeps wrathing and keeps wrathing and keeps wrathing and keeps wrathing. How would you score Spreading Plague? This one's actually tough because it's not like a staple, right? It's not like a staple. It's more just like super obnoxious, but it also is like very not fun to. It's a card that can kind of just lock someone out of the game. Like if you're in the wrong colors, you can just not be able to play creatures for the rest of the game, essentially. What do you think of the Ninjas deck? Gabriel's one of my best friends, was happy you reviewed it, but we missed that part of the stream. Oh, well, real synopsis. Let Gabriel know that there'll be a video up tomorrow with the VOD, or you can watch the VOD on Twitch, but it'll be on the replay YouTube if you missed the first part of it. My take was Ninjas impressed me. I feel like overall, they're one set away from being really good. The only part of the deck I was kind of meh on, Kaito was very impressive. Very, very impressive. To the point where I think, like, it's worth building a deck around. The one part that was questionable for me was this, like, the Nashi, like, Satoru slots. I kind of felt like, especially Nashi, I felt like Nashi was pretty bad. But then I went and looked, and these are the only ninjas that exist. So I was, like, trying to find another ninja to play in the place. The only one, if you ask Gabriel about it, what is it, Sabia? It's not Sabia. I don't know. The only card I considered, because we tried to find other ninjas to play in the 2-drop slot that were like, those were the cards I didn't like that much, was like the Nashi slot. We decided on trying, I haven't played with it since we added it, but we did decide that maybe Sabia Cryptomancer could be worth trying. Like, it's good against removal. You can flash it in for hexproof something, and then like pick it back up with ninjutsu and flash it in again. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like the deck's really sweet and it's solid, but it needs like one more set of ninja support to be like a tier deck. Right now we are playing some super fair Coco. But yeah, tell him, super cool deck. That was one of my highlights of watching the tournament this weekend was seeing the ninjas. Even though you didn't win the feature match, it was still one of my highlights was them doing well on D1. So shout out to your friend. Yeah, it's close. It's close. It's like one piece is missing. I think it'll get there though, because I think if we learned anything from Kamigawa, people love ninjas. People just love ninjas. They're a cool tribe. They have a cool mechanic. All right, one more match. Let's see if we can go. We haven't lost with this green white Coco deck yet. This green white Coco deck's impressed me. The sheep. The sheep has impressed me the most. Okay, chat. How about this one? Coffers. Cabal Coffers. 1 to 4. 1 to 4, chat. Cabal Coffers. Where do you put it? Cabal Coffers is pretty iconic. It's like a 4? It's a 4. See, I play Coffers in literally every deck. I love Coffers so much. Coffers is like, if I'm playing black, I'm not only playing Coffers, I'm probably playing Expedition Map to try to find my Coffers. It's so busted. But, should it actually be in every casual deck? Probably not. Like, if we are going to grant that the logic of the bannings was correct, even if we didn't really like the bannings, but if we agree with the logic that the fast mana is like a bad thing for Commander, then I think you gotta consider Coffers at least like a 3, right? It can't be a 1. There's no way they're pre-conning Coffers. I think 2 is probably conservative. I would probably settle on 3. I don't know if you have to be full on like CDH mode to play Coffers, but you probably want to be, if you're Coffersing against precon decks, you're just going to smash them. Like if you're tutoring up Coffers, you're just absolutely wrecking them. It's like slow, fast mana, but it is some of the biggest mana once it gets going. Like yes, it's not super fast, but wow, we're just wrecking this fair Coco deck's just wrecking people. It's just wrecking people. Yeah, it can't be a 1. Probably 3. I could see 3. That would be my guess. Oh, how about okay, the Richard special. We did the Crim special earlier with Spreading Plague. What about the Richard special? Price of Progress. Price of Progress. If you don't know Price of Progress, 2 mana, red instant. Deals 2 damage to each player for each non-basic land they control. This is a card that Richard kills us with on Commander Clash when we ramp a lot. It's like 2 mana deal 20 damage to each player or something absurd. 30 damage to each player if you're playing against me and Phil. I feel like it's got to be a 1, right? It's got to be a 1. But at the same time, the card is actually like 2 mana kill people in the late game. 1, don't be greedy. Hey, whenever I say that about Blood Moon, people yell at me. I'm just punishing the greed. Blood Moon, innocent Blood Moon is just punishing those greedy players. No one ever buys that. I keep trying. I think 1 or 2. Probably actually just a 1. Okay, one other interesting one. Speaking of Richard specials, Constant Mists. So if you don't know Constant Mist is a card that you should probably play in more. Wow, it's $17 now. My God, I'm pretty sure from buying collections, I had like a stack of these, and I'm pretty sure they were like $1. And I sold them to a buy list for like 25 cents a piece or something, and now they're $20. Good Lord. Constant Miss, 2 mana Fog, except you can buy back it by sacking a land. I feel like Fog should be 1s, right? Wouldn't Fog should be 1s, but is a repeatable Fog different? I feel like Fogs are some of the hardest ones to figure out, because I feel like people have the idea that Fogs are not very good, when I think they're actually very good. They're kind of miserable, but they're also kind of saving you. I do not know how to grade. I would say Constant Miss has to be one of the strongest of the Fogs. One of the highest ranking of the Fogs. But like, so do you split up? So do they do it like this? Is this the idea? Well, I had an idea for the deck, but I have no wild cards to spare. So I noticed a synergy with Duskmourn's Ghostly Dancers and Roll tokens. So I slapped it together, see some brewing. Let me see, Chicken Guy. I'll pull it up. So do you think maybe they do it like this? Maybe the way this works is maybe they start with, like, is there going to be a Fog that's a 1, a Fog that's a 2, a Fog that's a 3, a Fog that's a 4? Maybe like literal Fog's a 1, then I don't know. Constant Miss is a 2. And then Obscuring Haze is a 3, and T-Pro's a 4. But I imagine they're not going to rank all. Wow, that's double Arclight. We're so dead. We're so dead. We're so dead. We're so dead. Pretty sure we're so dead. In case you missed that, Skyclave. Draw a card. Yeah, not fast enough to get down to stack speeds. We probably should just mulligan this hand for the matchup. I think it might have been a case of our hand, even though it was a fine hand of Magic cards, just not being a fine enough hand for this matchup in specific. About it. I think we might be so dead. Okay, if Wizards is watching us, Gavin, I don't see you in chat, but if you're watching this somehow, Gavin, or Mero, or someone from Wizards, two requests. The biggest is, now that you're in charge and we're doing all this scoring in the bracket system, I do not want to hear it's too complicated anymore. The 2 things that I want them to do. And the scoring, no one's gonna agree on it. Do whatever you want. Like, it's fun to think about what could be a 4, what could be a 1. But when it comes down to it, I don't think anyone's gonna agree. No one's gonna agree. But 2 things. One is, ban Lutri only as a companion. Let it be in the 99. Let it be in the command zone even if you want to. Just say it's banned as a companion. You can't play it as a companion. It's so easy. There doesn't have to be some great logical bulwark behind this. You can just be like, hey, guess what? You can't play Lutri as your companion because it's too busted. Play it in the 99. We don't care. Super easy. So that would be number one. I also hope, and I want this so much, bring back Banda's Commander. There's so many cards like Braids and like Rafellos and et cetera, that are banned because they're miserable and unfun and too powerful if you have them in your command zone and you're getting them every single turn, every single game, you're having access to them to multiple times. There are cards like that. On the other hand, there are cards like Braids that in the 99, perfectly fine. Braids in the 99 is not a problem. It is not even close to being a problem. So I feel like I would like to see a little bit more. Yeah, even you could even say that about Golos. Like Golos would be fine in the 99. Nadu would be fine in the 99. Nadu, maybe keep Nadu banned just on the Paradox Engine argument of like the 20-minute turns, which is the biggest issue. But I think power level wise, Nadu in the 99 would actually be fine. We have a no ban game coming up, and we finally played Banned Commanders, and Rafellos is a scary card from your command zone. If you cannot kill a Rafellos, good God. Come on, don't kill our elf. Well, all right, opponent kills the elf. Jerk. I just want to get down this Archon of Emeria. This Archon of Emeria shuts down our opponent's game plan pretty effectively if it sticks out. Opponent land and Prof. Eidetic Memory. Well, we will play a... You know what? Let's just Temple Guard untapped. Archon of Emeria. Hit you with a Land of War down to 17. Pass the turn. Didn't you talk about running an awful Golos deck and steamrolling? Yes, but that was Golos as my commander. I think Golos in the 99, I think it would probably be okay. But yeah, I built Golos Scouts. Golos Scout Tribal to intentionally try to build like an underpowered version of Golos. I think the challenge was build like the weakest version of one of the strongest commanders. So that was my attempt to build the weakest version of one of the strongest commanders, and turns out Golos, even with a whole bunch of scouts, was still incredibly broken. Oh no. Oh no, we probably just lost this game. Oh. Well, there goes our win streak. There goes our win streak. Yeah, well, Phoenix is still a good card if you can't answer it. Oh, my ear. I lost. I don't know what happened. My earpiece fell off of this headset, and I will tell you that the hard plastic part is not nearly as comfortable as the actual cushion part. Who would have thought that the cushioning actually matters? Opponent. Gonna draw some cards with Treasure Cruise. Did you find a pet-friendly Airbnb? I have, and I asked about it. And then on Twitter, and then asked about it here, and then started streaming. But it's on my short list of things to do once I'm done streaming and take Bear out. But yeah, I'm trying to find one for going out to Louisville in December for a bit. The main thing I'm nervous about is just if Bear is going to be an issue because he's so big. Like, that's what I'm worried about, is I'm going to find a pet-friendly Airbnb, and I'm going to show up with Bear, and they're going to be like, oh, I know we said pets, but this is like a 175-pound dog, and he's the nicest, cuddliest, goodest boy, but I don't know, that I'm afraid someone's going to be like, oh, this isn't exactly what we meant by pets, and I'm going to be a 10-hour drive away from home, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. The internet ruins everything. I want to build an Honest Elf deck with Leovold as the commander, but the internet had to say wheels go burr. Oh yeah, Bear's even better than House Trained. Bear, not only will he not go to the bathroom in the house, he won't even go to the bathroom in our yard. He waits till we go for a walk Because he doesn't want to poop in his own yard. He's actually the best dog. I honestly, and I'm not even joking, like, I've never had to clean up dog poop in my yard because he just won't go to the bathroom in our yard. And luckily we live way out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no neighbors or anything we need to worry about. It's just fields and stuff, but he won't even go to the bathroom in the yard at all. Well, it looks like we might have got a little phoenixed. What about banning some commanders only as partners? Huh. I had never thought about that before, but that could be interesting. I mean, so I think the partners as a mechanic are pretty overpowered. I think it probably matters most in CDH, which is not really my wheelhouse. I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, I think if there was a commander that was problematic as a partner, banning it as a partner, perfectly fine. You can play it as your solo commander, can't play it as a partner. I would be on board with that. I think any of those little changes to let people play the cards while still keeping the format, safe, I think I'm going to be on board with, I think, pretty much all those. So I don't know if there's any partner commander I would say, oh, I hope they do that too, just because I don't know if there's any partner commander that's so problematic it needs to be banned as a partner. But if it got to that point, yeah, I think that would be fine. Yeah, I think the partners are, I rarely, Paco. Yeah, Paco is actually kind of busted, but that's not like true partner. That's partner with, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, the actual partner pairs are way more prevalent in CDH than in casual. So what do we learn about these decks today? So we played some Demir Ninjas. Demir Ninjas, first off, Pioneer's sweet. I hope everyone enjoyed Pioneer today, but look at all the different matchups we played. We played Fair Magic, we had some combos, we had some mid-range, we had some long games. I think Pioneer's in a really good spot right now. So if you've been waiting to check out Explorer/Pioneer, it's a good time. Like, Pioneer actually, with the latest round of bannings, really good time to give it a shot if you've been waiting. I would say Demir Ninjas, the deck's sweet. The deck is competitive-ish. Like, you will be able to win a reasonable amount of games with it. I think it's like a card or two away from really being a legit threat in Pioneer. It's like, it's close, but it needs like one or two more cards to put it over the top, and then we could have a real ninja deck in Pioneer. We are missing... we do have Kaito, which is very good. I will say Kaito is very impressive. Can you do a stream where you play your really old deck? I will add that to the list. Maybe I'll have to do a first deck stream or something. But Kaito certainly proved its power. And then the Coco deck, yes, we lost that last game to our opponent kind of popping off with Phoenix, which is going to happen sometimes. But this deck kind of floored me because it looks so fair, but it actually just kept winning, and it kept winning, and it kept winning. And then Enduring Innocence, I think, is a card that kind of holds the whole thing together. This card felt great. Reminder said you check out my enchantment deck. Oh, can you... Oh, I don't know. I have so many links. Can you send me the link one more time, Chicken Guy? And I will pull up your deck before we wrap it up for today. I don't... Wait. Standard Ratatouille, that's a different... Yeah, I don't have the link anymore, I don't think. All right, let's see, Chicken Guy. Green-white enchantment spam. So this is trying to use... So the synergy here... Oh, when an enchant... Oh, okay. So when I played with Ghostly Dancers, I was really hyped about its ability to unlock rooms. That was kind of what I was trying to do with it. But its other mode is, whenever enchantment enters, you get to make a 3/1 spirit creature token, which means if you have a Spellbook Vendor making a roll, which is an enchantment every single turn, or Royal Treatment making a roll, you're going to draw a card. That's a really cool idea. I hadn't really considered trying to abuse Ghostly Dancers with rolls. That actually is a really neat synergy. I love the, like, I can use Royal Treatment to protect my Ghostly Dancers and get a 3/1 out of the deal. Plus, you can still play some cool room stuff and unlock some rooms if you want to. Yeah, I like it. That's a super sweet idea. Super, super sweet. Anyway, everyone, I believe that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Good news is, we'll be back next week to have even more fun. But on the way out the door, replay YouTube for all the old streams, normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up on there. Tomorrow's against Odd. You're gonna want to see that one. It's a good one. It's doing some really crazy stuff in Standard. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can make cardkingdom.com/FTD Goldfish. Most importantly, thank you to each and every one of you. I love y'all. You're amazing. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting about Commander and Pioneer and Standard. I love y'all. Be good, everyone. And I'll see you next week to have some more fun. Until then, be good. And I will talk to you soon.